just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. And oh God, I think I'm going to cry tears of joy. Roo, how you going, brother?
Not as good as you, mate, but I'm doing well.
Oh, man. Timmy?
I'm well, mate. Good to enjoy a cracking weekend of footy. Good to see Brisbane Broncos come from behind win, not being on the receiving end of it. As a Raiders fan, it was a good watch.
And how you going, mate?
Very well. Some great games of footy. Enjoyed a cup of grumpy coffee out of my toilet mug like Reece Walsh on the weekend. So I'm ready to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, mate. Great weekend for me too, especially with the two games. Got the game all day long. Borderlands 4, great game. And then I got to watch footy. Got to a game all day long, then make a grand final. Does it get much better than that?
I actually reached out to Lontel last night to see if they'd cut the internet here today.
They're loyal. They would never.
What a weekend for the people of Brisbane. Brisbane Lions in the AFL. Brisbane Broncos, famous win.
Yeah.
And Queensland Bulls, 2-0 start to the Dean Jones Cup. Fever pitch stuff up there down at Allen Border Field.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Queensland just get sport. They just get sport.
Yep, they do.
And Lontel, they get internet, guys. No contracts, no credit cards, free week trial, and also $25 credit if you use code BLOKE. It'll be the link in the show notes, lawntel.net.au/bloke. Don't miss out on this offer, guys, and it's the best internet. You will not be disappointed, okay? Don't forget as well, like and subscribe and grab that grumpy coffee. It's time to face a bit of music, proudly brought to you by Sportsbet. And I just wanted to open here because I've got some concerns about Guru's integrity. I would hate to think that he would do something, then he would go on another show and accuse someone else of doing the same thing that he did somewhere else.
Yeah, that's pretty average.
I would hate to think that would happen. So I don't know whether this is AI, I'm not sure, but it might be.
I do have a bone to pick with both of you. I almost walked back.
Fucking good looking AI.
What do you got? What's your problem?
Yeah, let's just go straight up. I
fucking
cannot fucking believe.
Believe what?
Both copied my fucking unit.
I didn't copy yours.
Any about even fans, just to let you know, Eddie and I both wildcarded our unit scoopers to copy exactly what Rue's were, so that if his gets up, we all get up, and he doesn't. He still lasts.
You cuck.
I wildcarded. I thought it was a good bet.
Cuck,
We
okay.
can wildcard in this game. That's the point of the wildcard.
I don't think you should be able to wildcard units.
Oh, shut
There we go.
Now, if you would have let that played out, my defence was it's for the best of the audience to make it entertaining. There is no doubt whatsoever the most entertaining thing for the audience was you being on the Broncos, me being on the Panthers. Once again, I am here for them. If that's the charge, honestly, throw away the key.
Oh, my God.
So was that after?
That's after.
Unbelievable.
That's
I'm here
after.
24 hours.
Disgusting.
So listen, you're the ref. I'm just going to stay out of it. I just need to bring the evidence to the court.
No, that's fine.
I actually got halfway through that rant and then realised and thought, I hope Tom and Eddie haven't seen this. Thank God they hadn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they have now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have now. Well, let's get into the results anyway for this weekend for Face Music. So the first game, Storm 22 defeat the Sharks 14. Now, obviously, we know kind of how this one unfolded. Denon and Rue both had the Storm -7.5 tick. They both had Xavier Coates to score. He was $1.70 tick. So at the end of game one, Denon at 360, Rue 360. Face the music from every angle. So there you go. That's where we're sitting at the end of game one.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting stuff.
Now, Timmy obviously eliminated.
Yeah.
But thank God he had been for you guys because he had the Storm under 12 at $2.90 and KL Iro at $2.65. So, irrelevant now, but what could have been, Timmy?
When the pressure comes,
Coming
it
in hot when it
crumbles.
doesn't matter.
What could have been? All right, then the next game, obviously, Broncos 16 defeat the Panthers 14. Both of you guys had Mariner at $2.08 to score at any time.
We can pick them.
Great stuff. Well, Kempy can. You just kind of copycat from Ballarat. As
I said that.
on last
I
week's
said that.
show. You did. And then, obviously, Kempy had the Broncos. Rue had the Panthers. The Broncos saluted at $2.10. So well done to you, Kempy. Again, Timmy eliminated, but he had Stags $2.55, saving your best for when it doesn't really matter. So, in the game that mattered, in the prelim, Denon $7.78. Rue $5.68. So well done, Kempy.
And what were my final words? The boys will take care of me. I'll be loyal. The boys will take care of me.
My final words to Maddie last Monday were, I can't believe Kempy didn't take the 1.5 start. I thought if Penrith ended up winning this by 1 point, he could have thrown this away. When Adam Reynolds was lining up that kick, I thought, fuck, it might play out. This would be insane.
Yep. Well, there you go. So that's our grand final. We have got our grand final locked in. Maddie versus Denon. The winner of that will become the majority shareholder in Bloke in a Bar and Grumpy Coffee. So a lot to play for.
Lot to play for.
And
But I tell you what, if you're a majority shareholder, you're also majority responsible for it all. So
Yeah.
we'll see how many
So
goes
plenty to
with
play
that.
for. Grand Final Entertainment has also been locked in. Local artist Guru Swims. He's been battling illness and a vocal cord issue, so if he's not available, it will be the culturally insensitive Snoop Williams, who has requested his own green room, if you know what I'm saying. So either way will be sorted. It should be a hell of a grand final, but that's how the cookie will crumble for Face the Music.
Geez,
season
some dynasties
2025.
ended this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Panthers, me on Face the Music. Huge.
Don't recall the dynasty ever.
Yeah, one in a row.
Yeah, and also you don't have a team. Yeah, that's just.
You're only in the grand final because you have a team.
No. Hang on a sec. I got there as well with the team, so it all evens itself out. Whereas when you don't have a team, you're always working with your head. Whereas you know what, my heart got me there. Something you got none of them about. No ticker. Doesn't know nothing about.
I'm not going to argue with that.
No heart.
Can't argue at all.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Now, good thing, Matty, you didn't play this weekend because you got a duck egg this week, so hopefully you've got that all out of your system for this weekend.
What's the overall score so far in the final?
I'll crunch all the numbers of those for the grand final show.
Okay.
I think they'll be pretty similar to how they were when we entered the grand final. I will say though,
Duckhead Matty though. Oh, but
Yep.
he had a big week last week, didn't he?
he did. I will say you are sitting on up your sleeve for the grand final, Payne Haas Clive Churchill medal at $18, which you locked in at the start of the final series. So that could make all the difference.
Thank you.
Yep. Watch
Thank you.
this space.
That's good punting. It's honest. It's true.
Who did Matty have?
Matty had Ethan Strange.
That's
so
going to be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
Real
One.
tough.
That's going to be tough to get that.
That will be a
I
tough.
mean, he didn't even turn up to his prelimination game.
Jeez.
Bloody hell.
Shots fired.
Was the Clive the only futures bet we had?
That was. Correct.
Right.
Who was yours?
I had Ethan Strange.
Coffee cat from. Who was yours? Who was his?
You had Nathan.
Oh, I went the easy one. Typical. Who's his?
Joe Tarpany. I mean, Joe Tarpany not even nominated for Prop of the Year, so all you're doing is putting him in there.
Shit tip.
We'll get to that later. Outrageous.
Yeah, good. That is Face the Music, brought to you by Sportsbet. Give us a follow on the feed. I'm going to have plenty up this week. And also, you may catch us, maybe, out the front of the stadium.
You may do. Pending. It's a fun, we've got a lot of laughter in the green room when we're kind of going through what the execution would be. But if you like toilet water, look no further, is what I will say. And just one little thing to plug as well. Sportsbet this weekend for the grand final, you can actually add the Clive Churchill medalist to your same game multi.
Ooh.
Can't do that everywhere, but you can.
That'll
on
juice her
Sportsbet.
up.
Correct. Absolutely.
That's okay. Clive, we're going to put me a big Payne Haas there. Jeez, he's looking red hot for a Clive.
You know, Payne Haas 4 weeks ago was at 50-1 for the Clive. So was Reece Walsh. Now they're two of the favourites.
See, I backed Broncos to make the 4 with 4 or 5 weeks to go. Nailed it. Now Payne Haas is going to be the next one.
No, the 50-1 the week they were just playing for a top 4 finish. It's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, Reece Walsh is the outright favourite now, 650.
Apparently at half time yesterday, the Broncos were at 70 to win the comp. Is that true?
Leave that with me. I'll check that.
Yeah.
While we're in play.
That's crazy. Because that's not we'll speak about it later, but they came back from 14-0. Would be one thing just winning the game. They were 14-0 down.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Face the Music. As always, a massive thank you to our friends over at Sportsbet. Alrighty, it's time for the Grumpy Coffee Team of the Week. And what we're going to do, because I know you guys will be stinging to get straight into the game. So we'll mention our partners and then we'll get into the games. And then the segment will be within the games, like your Hungriest, your KO Can't Miss and your service. But a massive shout out as always to Aspley Mazda, Luke Camilleri, LDC_01, to KO. We obviously always appreciate KO. Grumpy Coffee as well. And Menulog. Now let's get into it. Okay, Team of the Week. It is at 1, Reece Walsh. 2, Dean Mariner. Stags, Meaney, Warbrick. At 6, Munster. 7, hotly debated between Hughes and Reynolds. We landed on Hughes. 8, Stefano. 9, Harry Grant. 10, Haas. 11, Katoa. 12, Ricky. 13, Willison. 14, Reynolds. 15, Iro. 16, Alamotti. I tell you what, he obviously you need to make a grand final, but he's a chance of still being finals player of the year, even though they're not in grand final. That's how good he's been. It's been crazy. And Ben Hunt at 17. That is the Grumpy Coffee Team of the Week. Make sure to get into go to grumpycoffee.com.au, grab your coffee. Beautiful blend. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff, baby. That's good stuff. Okay, let's get straight into it, shall we? It is time for Storm defeating the Sharkies 22-14. And I got to be honest. Like, I got quite a lot of messages of people frustrated, and I understand Sharkies fans. Like, they're definitely, you can always improve, and there's definitely areas in their game where, you know, when the game was on the line, you know, Nico and Trindle and Adam Fanua-Blake, they need to lock down and just take that extra step. So I'm with fans there, but like, I look at it like this. The Sharkies went down to Melbourne last year and got absolutely pumped by Melbourne in the first week. It was like 34-6 or something like that. Look how much progress they've made in 12 months, where they're going down to a Shark side 22-14. Like, I see that. Like, that's kind of the difference between the sides. Like, I know that you always want to progress and get better each year and eventually get into a grand final, but I was pretty happy with the Sharkies. And I thought it was is it the Storm's best ever performance? No. But was it one of their most consistent, at least this year? Their defence is what won it for them. So, to be honest with this result, I was pretty happy with both sides.
Yeah, I was pretty confident the Melbourne Storm would win this one. I thought they'd win by a little bit more. And even though the Sharks scored on the last play, I still thought the Melbourne Storm would probably beat them by more than that in this game. I was down there for it, watched it live. I thought the Sharks held their gloves up well and truly in this game. And I think that, you know, probably the difference was that week off for the Melbourne Storm for me. 2 weeks to prepare for this one. You know, I also thought probably the moment that broke this game open, I thought, was the Pappenhausen try. A little bit of a trick play, set play that they had there. Outside of that, I thought the Sharkies did really well.
Yeah, I thought they were brave as anything. I really do. Like, there was a period there, just one or two things go their way, they score a try. It's different. They went down there, they were paying $3, $3 underdogs, and they only lost by. And the Storm, what I loved about that victory for them, that was an old school victory. Like, you know, yes, their attack wasn't fully flowing, but that defence, just so brave. What do you reckon, Timmy?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Good performance from both sides. And the Sharks, as you said, can hold their head high. Like, went down to Melbourne against arguably the greatest coach of all time, against, you know, a genuine superstar spine. You could argue that three of the players in the spine are the best, top two in that position in the world. You throw Pappenhausen on top as well, who at his best is one of the best fullbacks in the world. The Sharks used to go down by 8. They completed at 87% at Amy Park. Mate, I think they just look like, and it's been proved in recent years, just a prelim final team for me now. They just, up against an outfit like the Storm, they're just missing a superstar to get them home in these tighter games. But, mate, I thought they were really good, but Melbourne, there's too much class in there. Yeah,
we spoke about it before the show. We'll speak about the superstars probably looking like Kennedy won't be at the club next year, so really interesting to see what the Sharkies do there, but we'll talk about that a bit later. What do you reckon of this game, mate?
Yeah, I mean, the Storm, just a little bit too good for them, a little bit too much class and experience in these sort of big games. I thought the Sharkies, going into it, I actually tipped them. I thought they were a chance to go down there and upset them, but probably I think what we've now learned is, like, this is about where this squad can get to. It's been a few years in a row now. They had an issue a couple of years ago where they couldn't win any games in the finals. Now they've kind of, you know, worked their way into, you know, consecutive prelims. But I think, yeah, to go the next step, they're probably just a little bit of X factor away from probably mixing it or making a charge at a comp. They were pretty respectable, but yeah, the Storm just that next level above. And the big one for me was how good that Hughes was. You know, obviously that was the big question mark he saw through the game. It almost didn't even feel like he was injured at all. That for me was probably the indicator that they were going to be too good.
I think just off what Hammy said there too, for the Sharkies, obviously back-to-back prelims, but they got there this year from the bottom four and we're up to this game into their eyeballs, in my opinion. Like, I think the big takeaway for the Sharkies here is we need to finish in the top four.
Yeah, you get in the top four.
Mate, if they're in the top four and they've got that week off, you know, they're a well-coached side. They've got the cattle to be able to do it. And you know, you look at this Sharks squad. We've spoken about it a few times over the last year or so. Like, this squad's at its apex right now. I don't think there's much that they can add. Fullback is the only thing. We'll get to that very soon. But I think that, you know, unless they get a fullback for next season, you're going to have to start to release some of these other guys at some point. They're not going to be able to keep this team together for much longer, in my opinion. If they do, it's an unbelievable effort. So, yeah, I think do we think next year is where it's all coming to its actual point?
Well, it just depends, I think, who they land at fullback. Do they go Kennedy another year? We'll get to it in the back end of it. Yeah, so with the Sharkies, I agree with you, mate. I think that they're squeezing essentially everything they can out of this roster. I really, really do. And I think that, look, it's hard though, because then if you go, okay, well, let's be super critical. When the game was on the line and they had done enough to get field position, multiple key players made errors, which was Nico Hines, Adam Fanua-Blake, and I think Trindle made one as well. At least he didn't have the best last 20. Is there an argument to be made if they don't make those errors, they're running downhill and they could potentially win the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there even a little bit left in this roster, considering where they were at with 20 minutes to go?
Yeah, they look to me where, like I've said it before, but I think they're one of the most balanced rosters in the competition. Like 1 to 17 plus depth, they don't have any real weak links. And if I'm going up against them and attacking them, I'm like, teams throw a lot at sort of Nico Hines and make him make a lot of tackles in defence, as you pointed out last week, Roo. But even then, it's not like a glaring issue defensively for them. They've got strike on both sides of the field in attack. I'm just looking at, the pointy end of the season, a prelim final, trying to make a grand final, and Reece Walsh gets a superstar, along with an Adam Reynolds conversion, get the Broncos home against the Panthers. We know Nathan Cleary, among other players, does it time and time again for them. The Melbourne Storm, any of their spine are all superstars who can get them home in the big minutes. Cronulla don't have that player, and as good as Nico is, he's not on the level of the blokes we've just mentioned, and coming up big in big moments to get a team over the line. They're missing a superstar. And look, maybe you can't have it all a perfectly balanced roster and the $1.3 million superstar, but that's, who's going to get them home in these big games?
I will say, yes, Nico's a bit older, but he's third or fourth year as a 7. Like, he could grow into that. Like Mitchell Moses that we see now, he absolutely was not that Mitchell Moses in the first 4 or 5 years of his career. Jerome Hughes that we know now, he's not the same guy. Like, a lot of these players, outside of your absolute superstars like your Walshes, your Munsters or whatever, a lot of these guys weren't that player. And so I'm still holding out hope that hopefully Hines can develop into that. And I want to be clear, like, people that are just like, oh, he can't handle big games. It's like, well, what was the 2 games before that? If they weren't big games, if going down to Canberra against the minor premiers isn't a big game, if facing the Roosters in an elimination final isn't a big game, then, like, what is a big game? Now, if you want to make the argument about big moments, that's where you can have that discussion. He needs to be able to grow into those big moments, because it's probably the last piece of his game. He's sorted his defence out. His kicking game's gotten better. All his try assists, his line break assists are some of the best in the competition. Really, it is just that last step of when the big moment comes, just not even, you don't even have to win the game, but just doing the best in that moment kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's the last step he has to take. We go back a year ago, 2 years ago, the step he had to take was sort out his defense. And he's done that.
Yeah.
Like, he's improving in parts of his game each and every year. I thought it was him that threw the pass to Brett Nichols. They almost scored off too, right?
Oh man,
like, that could have got them back. Like, we'll talk about that moment soon. But that was I think that was on last tackle. He played short. I think it was the right play. He probably scores that 9 times out of 10.
Well, he should have just ducked his head. He should have just got his head low. We'll talk about it because it was a big play. I was quite surprised, and I'm 50-50 on this. Like, I'm not fully in the camp of it should have been a penalty try, but I can't believe no one considered a penalty try, because it was clearly a head high. Pappenhausen had one opportunity to make the play, and it was foul play. And he was already so close to scoring. I could make the argument that if he didn't head high, he scores. Like, now, I'm not in the camp of, like, it's definitely or whatever, but I was just a bit surprised that it didn't really get spoken about that much, because it was a clear head high that he was already struggling to hold him down. Now, if you want to say, oh, well, hang on, Munster could have come in and he still could have held him up, fair enough. Like, I just was a bit surprised it was not even spoken about in regards to that head high.
Just getting up the definition that I had a read of the other day of that, which is... penalty try. The referee may award a penalty try if, in his opinion, a try would have been scored, but for the unfair play of the defending team.
It's pretty fucking bang
It's
on.
hard to argue, I think.
I just, like, the reason why Pappy had to go so high to try and wrap the ball up is because he would have got bumped if he went low. He would just fell straight over him.
Yeah. It did. I'm with you. It probably felt like I got a little bit glossed over in the commentary. Like, they didn't. Like, I felt sitting home, I was like, that's probably a penalty try.
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty try.
They didn't spend too much time unpacking that at all. Yeah, it was interesting. Probably could have lived with it if they had gone, sweet penalty try. But,
And again, like, so when you look at stuff like that, where it's a 50, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. You go, fuck, is there a little bit more left in this roster? Like, could they have got a 6 to 10 point turnaround with a few things that went their way? Maybe.
Yeah. Like, I wonder what happens on that play if when Britain gets hit high, if he loses the ball in that moment as well, and it doesn't get held up. I wonder, and it's a bit of a weird one because it was tackled. The high tackle was before the trial and all that sort of stuff. It's not the normal sort of precedent, but I agree with you. I think it's worth a conversation.
Like, at least a conversation. What do you reckon, Timmy?
Yeah, worth a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a penalty try, but yeah, again, surprised it wasn't brought up and at least discussed. I think just because, it's not to say, like, if Pappy doesn't go high, he's still there. He's still in contact with Cameron Munster, also in contact. So there's like good chance he scores, but he doesn't. So I don't think it was a penalty try. I think the controversy around it probably overshadowed like one of the best defensive plays I've seen in my life from both players. Like Pappenhausen with his size taking on Britton Nickera, arguably the best line running back rower in the game at full speed, point blank on the line, along with the work Cameron Munster did, which was just a champion play from marker, getting across to that to save it, was outstanding. I think the refs got it right in that, you know, they got the penalty. Sharks, you know, got an opportunity after that. Tackle was made. I think they nailed all of it. But the tackle itself, and people sit there and blow up, goes high. You know, how can you applaud an illegal shot? I'm like, guys, incredible tackle from both, man. It was high. It was penalised. They were punished for it. I think they nailed all of it.
All right, let's talk about the reffing. Let's get it out. Look, you know, disclaimer, it's a hard job, blah, 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 blah. Bro, if you're penalised, 18 penalties in a prelim final, what are we doing? It is the jewel in our crown is finals footy, and you go out there and are just pinging penalty after penalty. So Fitzy said in the press conference after, 22 minutes of ball in play in the first half. Is that what we want to serve up to in Melbourne too? In Melbourne, we want to serve that up. Like, Ashley Klein cannot ref the grand final. And I very rarely, I can't even remember the last time I said that about a ref. He cannot ref a grand final. That he will suck the entire life out of the grand final. It was one of the poorest displays of finals reffing I've ever seen. And look, say what you will about Broncos Panthers game, and there were some terrible calls, and Penrith got a lot of 50-50s, but at least he just let it go. Like, at least we got some flowing footy and he just let it go. I'll live with that. I'll live with being held down a bit extra and, you know, not getting a 6 again here or there if it means that both teams just get to play some footy. So I thought it was terrible reffing. Terrible. Roo?
I think suck the life out of it is the perfect description.
Mate, it's not about you. That's what I don't get. And maybe it's just a different way we view refs. Like, a ref's job is not to dictate how a game is played. It's to guide the game in the direction within, like, bumpers on the side of a bowling alley. Like, it's not their job to be like, force the game. This is how it's going to be played at this speed. You're going to get play the ball. It's going to be 3.5 seconds. That's not their job. But Ashley Klein just makes it about him as if when he gets on the field, it's like he's the big boss and it's like, oh, this is how the game's going to be played. And if you don't like it, I'm just going to penalise you until you do like it. That's ridiculous.
By the technical side of the game, like, I haven't gone back and reviewed every penalty, but they might be right. Like, every penalty, technically, by the laws of rugby league, they could be penalties. But Ashley Klein is going out there. If a referee wants to give 20, 25 penalties in a game, they can do it when they look for penalties to give. Because it is technical. There are a lot of aspects to it. Ashley Klein's going out there trying to pull up anything he can. It's like, it doesn't have to be this way.
It really doesn't. It's honestly, you could get a penalty every single set.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 every set.
And technically, they're probably right.
Yeah, and that, you know, they'll probably come out, no, well, here's all the evidence that this is the correct calls because this was incorrect here. But that's the whole point. The reason why you are a professional referee is because you can discern the difference between the two. You can feel the game and go, okay, you know, for example, sometimes I hate, like, the team's done all this work, they get them into a corner, and they're half a step offside. Now, granted, if they do it all the time when they haven't earned the right to win that, but they're half, and they get pinged for a penalty, and it's like, fuck, they're always offside in those situations. Like, if the team's earned it, let the flow happen. Hammy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think for me, Grant Atkins is the way that he goes about it. I think the way that he referees games is made for the big occasion and stuff like that. For the reason you said, just kind of puts it away a little bit. You know, obviously enforces the rules when they need to be, but he doesn't make it all about him, you know, or be too pedantic about stuff. He lets the game flow, and that's, you know, Adam G did it a couple of years ago in the grand final. Everyone goes, how good was that? Best one we've seen in a long time.
And never give him a finals game again.
No. Which, hopefully get some more finals games at some stage. But I think Grant Atkins, given the ones who did the prelims over the weekend, you know, you got to reward good form, haven't you? And I think he's probably the guy that's earned a crack at it.
Mate, and this is coming from a Broncos fan who, Liam Martin and Cleary, you could argue, should have got 10 in the bin. At the very least, Liam Martin. But I don't want that. Like, he had the guts to go, you know what, who gives a shit? Let's just play some good footy. Yep. And we got one of the greatest matches we've ever seen.
In the big, like, the forever and never-ending debate of rugby league versus rugby union, rugby league has always had over rugby union, your game's so stop-start, and the argument we throw to, or league fans will throw to, is amount of ball in play. 22 minutes ball in play in that first half, which Fitzy alluded to in the presser, that's rugby union. It's like
terrible.
The big thing about rugby league was, the game was flowing and there was lots of ball in play because there wasn't stoppages for all the scrums and penalties and all these different sorts of things. 22 minutes ball in play is like, guys, let's play some footy.
Mate, so bad. I just cannot believe that's what was serving up. The players, what's crazy as well, Sharkies and Storm were up for it. They were both in good nick, looked super, super keen. So the players have worked all season to give this incredible show of entertainment to the fans and to people that watch it in a wider audience. And Klein just walks in and goes, nah, you're going to play how I want it. Otherwise, I'm just going to penalty. It's just ridiculous.
And mate, when there's 22 minutes ball in play, the beauty of rugby league is it becomes a war of attrition. Who's the fittest? And at the back end of games, when everyone is out on their feet, and it brings these superstars like a Walsh into a game and Nico Hines into a game because there's so much fatigue. It's like, all right, who's tougher, who's grittier when they're going at stuff? When there's that many stoppages, they're getting so many breathers.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
It's just ridiculous. Mate, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, outrageous. And it's given me a headache because this is the 50th conversation we've had about this. Origins, he's ruined. This is I reckon the worst part is talking to some friends that kind of don't really, they're casuals, right? They know who Ashley Klein is. They know that he's ruining games like this. It's absolutely unbelievable that we're still having this conversation. He can't ref the grand final. He's going to ruin it. Look at the difference between the two games on the weekend. It's bloody crazy.
Also, I remember, was it this Origin? So obviously the game 2 thing happened, which is the massive square up. But didn't he was giving away penalties in the first couple of sets of game 1 Origin, if I recall correctly.
2 penalties against Queensland or something.
What are we doing here? It's just, I don't get why he gets these opportunities when there's so much evidence of him dictating terms. I just don't get it, bro. I just don't get it. Anyway, so as I said, even though there were so many, I felt like Atkinson just gave the Penrith Panthers yesterday, at least he let the game be great. And if we had lost, at least it was a great spectacle for everyone to go, wow, that was unbelievable. And it's the same thing happened in the grand final. I've said this quite a few times, so I'll be quick. But in the first half, I was in where all the Broncos fans were, and we were just going, I can't believe Adam G is just letting the Panthers do whatever the fuck they want. The whole stadium was sitting there going, what's going on? Then they came out in the second half, and then he let the Broncos do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool then. All right, sweet. So there's no way. If he gets a grand final, I will be highly concerned about what we're going to dish up. Okay, in regards to some moments for the Sharkies, I thought, so Munster makes this crazy line break. The Sharks scramble defence was phenomenal, so good. Storm, so they scramble defence. Storm then give a penalty away. This is 11 minutes to go in the first half. Katoa then goes to score on the opposite corner. I just thought, geez, that play from the Sharkies, that's the kind of play maybe a couple of years ago they just didn't have in him. They just didn't have that kind of play in him. It was such a huge play for him. And as I said, I thought they were so brave. I really do. Just a few things could have gone their way. And who knows? Maybe if a few things did go their way, the Storm would have gone to another level. Because I do actually think the Storm probably have another level in them. But yeah, I just thought they were super, super brave. Would you...
Just before we do move on, the other one out there, and maybe there was more details in the commentary that I didn't get, but there was a moment where Trinder went down the left side and there was an obstruction play, and he pulled himself up, and it looked like he was about to take the tackle, and they just blew the penalty immediately.
Yeah, Trinder went and he stopped, and he just gave a penalty straight away. Even though that's not been a penalty all year.
That hasn't been the way we've done it all year, right?
All fucking decade.
Yeah, I thought that was very harsh too.
It's just weird. In the areas where you just don't need to give the penalty, you still give the penalty. So weird. I was going to say, so the first half, again, super interesting. It didn't come to fruition in the second game, but Storm's first half play the ball speed, 3.32 seconds average, and Sharkies 3.55 seconds. Honestly, one of the best indicators of who's going to win is seriously play the ball speed, because in the first half, Broncos v Panthers were at 3.02. It's the fastest I've ever seen at one point. But yeah, the Sharkies, the Storm, once they get that roll on, they're just a different beast. But just quickly, before we move on to the Storm, some guys that stood out for me. I thought Ito, this was a real test for Ito to go, are you a top tier centre? Is he on the level of Critter and Herbie just yet? No, I don't think so. But has he been a top 5 centre form-wise this year? Absolutely has. Locked him in easily top 5, maybe even top 3. Him and Cooler is close.
Yeah, I reckon as far as value, I reckon he'd be right up there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He
'Cause
might
he'd
be the best value
Yeah.
realistically for what they'd be paying him. We'll get to the conversation soon, but he's played a bit of fullback in New South Wales Cup and whatnot. They've got Hiroti in the squad who can do a good job there. If they aren't able to go out and sign a fullback, I'd be interested to see how that looks.
Yeah, if his ball playing was just even decent, his kick returns would be unstoppable, like unstoppable. But yeah, I just thought it was a real opportunity. You know, we always talk about it, but like very few people play well against Melbourne in a finals game. Like usually you're getting shut down if you're one of the key players.
Who will Iro play for end of season? Internationals.
Is he Cook
He's played
Islands?
Cook Islands,
Yeah.
but
Probably Kiwis, maybe.
Kiwis?
I think he has an eye on the Kiwis. I think
he'll be there, surely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought Billy Burns. I thought he was really good, Billy Burns. I think he came off in the first half, was off for quite a while, but he was off for about 20 minutes. But I thought he was outstanding. I think he's been outstanding this whole friggin' final series.
Yeah, I thought live out there, him and Jesse Colquhoun had a red hot crack, both of them. I think both of them were involved in the missed tackle on Jerome Hughes that he scored off. But outside of that, they went enormous. It's interesting, like, Cam McInnes is going to be out for, the first half of next year with that ACL injury. He won't be back until mid-season, I would suggest. It sounds weird to say, but they haven't missed Cam McInnes. I can't believe it.
Mate, you put it this way, like, is there a world where they cement their spot and Cam McInnes has to come back through reserve grade? Yeah, I think there is at the moment. I mean, obviously he could come off the bench, but that's how well they've played without him.
Like, is there also a world where you maybe look around the room and go, okay, we've got Billy Burns, we've got Colquhoun, these guys who have shown come final time they can do a job. Is freeing up a Cam McInnes maybe where you get your fullback money from?
Potentially. I mean,
So I imagine a new franchise, I would sign Cam McInnes in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely.
Be a perfect sign.
Absolutely. It really just weighs up cost versus benefit, really.
Yeah.
Like if he's on a medium contract, you go, no, there's no way I'm getting rid of Cam McInnes. But if he's on a huge contract, it's like, well, okay, are these players as good as McInnes? No, not necessarily, but that's a huge chunk of the cap.
And I've said it a few times. Like the moment Cam McInnes got injured, I just put the red sharpie.
Yeah, I thought they were
There's
done, bro.
How the fuck are they going to compete
Yeah.
in finals time?
A lot of done. I will say, like, and I think you're the same as well, but like, I would just be waiting till like round 8 or 9 to kind of see where we're at and just go, okay, because it could just be a little run of 6-7 games where they've killed it. But I'd be waiting till probably mid-year to just kind of gauge, because he wouldn't be signed he'd probably only sign till 27, wouldn't he? Or 6? So a huge year for him next year.
And that's where you sit there and go, like, going into next year and can they win a premiership? And on what they've done this year, I don't see why not. I think the final piece of the puzzle is, you know, whether it's a gun, 5'8", half-foot, it's like a superstar in the spine somewhere. I said probably fullback, but like even Britton Nickera, the 3 games of the finals, he didn't play more than 33 minutes. So they've got these good problems to have of like Nickera wasn't even starting, McInnes was gone. Like they're not far off it.
Cam McInnes signed till the end of 2026.
They're all three of them. Burns, Colquhoun, McInnes, all 2026.
Jeez, they've timed it so well. I know it's very easy to be hypercritical of the Sharks. I'm such an admirer of how they've developed each year. Like, just brick by brick, slowly year by year, inch by inch. Like last year, they go down, get absolutely pumped by the Storm. Like, didn't even look like in the race. Go down this year and get pretty close. I just think they're building something great.
Can this 17, let's throw Cam McInnes in there as well, win a premiership?
Well, I mean, you're only 8 points behind the Storm, and they're going to be favourites heading into the. And yeah, okay, you could argue, do the Storm have another gear in them? Maybe, but at the same time, it's like you can only go off what we've seen so far, and it was an 8-point loss to the Storm at home. Like,
I think they need to add something because they've got to this level a couple of times now. And just haven't been able to.
Yeah, if I had gun to my head, I say they need a fullback.
I don't know about need, but I'd be in a camp of like 80%. Because I just look at some of these younger guys that have come through. I look at Cam McInnes at full strength, Toby Rudolph an extra year, and I just go, and also in the game when the game was on the line, if Adden had stood up and did something crazy, or if Nico or if Trindle, you know, all of a sudden we could do something
Changed
different.
very quickly.
Yeah, like all
if
of a
Nico
sudden.
scores that try, you know, the conversation's even different around Nico because he sets up that try.
Exactly.
Like,
So it's just like.
Took an unbelievable tackle. And I mean, for what it's worth on Will Kennedy, his ball playing for, I think it was the second Katoa try was outstanding.
Cracker. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm not fully all the way in of like they absolutely need a superstar to win the comp. if they could just, because what do they need? An extra 5%. If they could just find 5% somewhere, or if they could just finish in the top 4 and they had that extra week off, because they were running downhill in that second half. Like the Storm looked rattled. Like the Storm were struggling to really maintain. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Okay, let's get to the Storm. My God, 11 grand finals in 20 years. That is a grand final every second year. It's actually more than every second year. The greatest sporting organisation this country's ever seen. They did it again. Like, they've been up and down. You could argue they've barely even played their best footy, and yet they're still in a grand final. Like that. This is how good this organisation is. They have some gears left in them, and they still are managing to get into a grand final. It is just incredible. And I'll tell you who's getting service of the week. Jerome Hughes' doctor's getting service of the week. How the hell did he go from broken arm to fending blokes in the chest and scoring a try? So Ashley Mazda, they offer just as good service. Maybe not broken bones. Luke Camilleri, he might be able to fix your bones. I don't know. Give him a DM. Just if you've got a broken bone, give him a DM. Also, if you need a car, give Lukey a DM, LDC_01. But the service of the week brought to you by Ashley Mazda. It is Jerome Hughes' doctor, because Jerome Hughes to come out and have the performance he did, I seriously cannot believe it. Like, there is one thing for the Hughes to get through the game and kind of be hidden in defence a little bit and work on his kicking game and be really deep so no one can really touch him. He didn't look like he had any issues whatsoever. He had 8 tackle breaks with a broken arm.
22 days earlier.
Bro, it's just it's unheard of. It is unheard of. When was the last time a guy in a key position, he might have come back in 22 days, but then goes and puts a clinic on as well with the broken arm. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Shane Webke moment that's spoken about from the 2000 final series, it's part of NRL folklore. He returned 2 weeks earlier than what Webke did. They came up with a performance like that.
2 weeks earlier. It's folklore stuff. Like, if they are to go on to win the grand final, it'll be similar to the Cooper Cronk, scapular injury. Maybe not as drastic, but similar.
Mal Meninga in 87, mate.
Oh, yeah, sorry, mate. It's incredible.
Bloody hell.
It's incredible. Oh, come on. Mate.
Disrespect.
Oh, my God. Sorry, I forgot about he's always favourite.
Pat Richards in 05 as well, injury cloud.
Oh, yeah? Mate, it's absolutely amazing. The player Hughes has turned into, it is just absolutely incredible. But, the Storm do it again, and Munster is firing, Grant is firing, Hughes is firing, Pappy looked much better. That trick shot that Munster did for Pappy, only the Storm score tries like that. That is Storm 101, Billy Slater, Cooper Cronk, Cam Smith, just brilliance, absolute brilliance. We'll get to him as well. We'll go more in depth. Mate, I'm so happy for Stefano. I'm so happy. I'll be honest, there was a period there this year where I was I just don't know if he's just not, I don't know if he's ever going to reach it. I just don't know if he's got it in him. By God, does he have it in him. He was absolutely phenomenal. And outside of Payne Haas, there's an argument to be said that he's been the best forward of the final series. That's how good he's been.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the big thing, we'll obviously talk about the grand final a lot more this week, but I think Stefano played 45 minutes, 2 days extra to prepare for the biggest challenge of his career so far. Pretty good spot to be in.
Mate, him and Haas hunting each other. Stop it. Far out. Who's to that? Talk to me about the Storm performance, mate.
For me, Cam Munster. The last time I saw Cam Munster play live was that the Origin game where James Tedesco scored on the last play. Was that 2019, game 3, I think it was.
Yep.
I think Munster played fullback that night, and I remember just sitting there watching him going, he's just got so much time, so much space. Guys just hang off him. It's like he's got spiders on him. And then I had the exact same experience on Friday night. I assume it came through on the TV as well, but blokes are just scared to go near him.
Bizarre.
They just don't know what they're going to... He has always just got so much space around him. It feels like he is moving in slow motion. Even when he made that half break, it doesn't look like he's moving that quick, but he just eats up yards.
It's crazy. And he's proof that speed isn't the be all and end all. It's tempo. His ability to stop, start, and get you planting your feet. Whereas you've got guys that are way faster than Munster that don't make as many line breaks because his ability to manipulate the defence with his speed tempo, it's just and then you throw in the fend, you throw in the footwork as well.
Obviously, I was out there, and when that last play unfolded where Harry Grant scooted, I remember as the play happened, just going, "There's no Marcus Harry Grant's going to cut him up here," and the replay came up and I thought, oh, was it Stefano? Who was it? Fucking Munster that left him for dead, left him with no markers there to break the game open again.
I feel like he's not that quick over like your 20, 30, 50, whatever it might be, but when he does that fend, as you said, Kemp, he gets him to plant because he's stop, start. But just that first step, he accelerates off the mark so quickly.
Yeah, powerful. Super, super powerful because, and we've always said this year, like they're going to need Munster to be Munster if they're going to win a premiership because he was absolutely phenomenal. And that's the scary thing about this Storm side is that one of the best spines you'll ever see, and they're firing right now. They're firing. That's scary.
And they've got more to give, substantially more to give. And that's the thing, because of all the finals and the origins and all of that, and, big tests for Jerome Hughes, there's so much experience. Like, they're not going to be overwhelmed by the big stage.
No.
They're just not. And that's terrifying. And I said they've got another gear to go to, the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah. And what a year from Munster. Everything he's been through, and he has the opportunity. I saw your post the other day. He has the opportunity to win Origin and also a premiership. Then if he goes away for Australia, he'll be potentially win the Ashes as well. Talk about the mental toughness of the bloke. To be able to handle what he's handled and still deliver like he's delivered, nothing short of incredible. Who stood out for you, mate, in the Storm?
Yeah, we've spoken about a couple of them already. Jerome Hughes, I couldn't believe how well he played with given where he'd come from a few weeks earlier. But one bloke, you touched on people who went to Origin, came back different in Stefano. For me, Trent Liero, I think he's had an outstanding back end of the year as well, and just so solid for them. Doesn't miss any tackles, just so consistent as well. I think his back half of the year has been outstanding. I thought he was really big in this one as well.
Yeah. He might be one of the best defensive players in the comp. And you might be able to look at his stats and go, this guy has better tackle efficiency or whatever. But just when he hits, he always wins that first contact. Very rarely do you see Trent Liora getting bumped or losing their contact or they're finding their front. Everything is just perfect for him. Every bit of wrestle, getting stuck in the tackles and, looking at the ref, I can't get out. Even though I can bench 200 kilos, but I can't get out of this little ball. And, he's just a master at it. He's just an absolute master at it.
They all are down there.
Same with Penrith. It's just, if you want to win premierships, you got to be good at wrestling. It's that simple. That ship sailed 10 years ago, guys. Just get on board. Fuck.
Even just watching them live down there the other day and watching the ruck closely, the way that they just manoeuvre themselves in each tackle to always end up just to the side and play the ball, and it's not far enough that it's worth. As we say, you don't want referees stopping the game every 8 seconds for this sort of stuff, but they just manoeuvre it so your markers are just a little bit out of whack every time, and then Harry Grant gets off the back of it, and they just chip away at you and just gain a little advantage that. I think we can all see what they're doing, but you're not going to penalise it every single time because they're 5 centimetres over to this side of it, but they just gain that advantage.
I hope when he eventually retires, Craig Bellamy, he does an autobiography, but it's just purely talking about the Storm's wrestle. Because he's not going to do it now because he's giving away all his secrets. But when it's all said and done, if he just says everything, it would be the most fascinating read for rugby league nerds like ourselves to be why were you so much better for 20 years? What did you teach these guys?
There's an argument you made their dynasty was built on wrestling.
100%.
Genuine, to my understanding, they were the ones that brought it in because West Tigers kept diving at the ground for quick play the balls. And then I think the Storm bring it in, and from then on...
Yeah, change the game.
Change the game.
Yeah, that's greatness when other teams had to adapt to shut it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still waiting to adapt again, or are you just going to keep...
Uncalled for. Clip that up, add that to the HR thing, not even in the season. Thank you.
So, yeah, as I said, what's interesting as well is Warbrick was great, but even Coates and Warbrick, they didn't really kick to him that much. Coates is barely he's catching a cold out there. And granted, yes, he's getting run off the ball a little bit, but that's what's scary is in this final series, he hasn't really been used that much, Coates.
Keeping it up their sleeve for the...
maybe
the grand final.
Seriously,
I thought Coates in this game though, and it doesn't shock me. I look at the stats. He got the most post contact meters, but just every time he took a run, he would just spin and edge his way to an extra 3 or 4 meters every single time.
And that's the part of his game that he's built. He's always been a showstopper, scoring tries left, right, and centre. But this is what Bellamy's just built into him. If you're not going to do that, you can't do that every single week. But what you can do every single week is meters, good runs, the tough carries. I thought Howarth locked Ramy up all night long. Like, genuinely, every time Ramy tried to do the in and away from him, just couldn't get away from him. Not only, but one of the negatives for the Storm, though, is some of that edge defence is very, very questionable at times. And if you've got Reece Walsh swinging around the side, you've got Ezra Mann 1 week fitter, it's going to be really interesting to see what plan do they have to stop that.
I think it really plays into your hands as far as this grand final goes, because it's obviously you got your strengths out there, but I think it leans into a game plan that you guys love to play. Like I thought against the Panthers in the second half, like it had to be a defensive based game, which I don't know. I don't think the Broncos love doing it from what I've seen from this year, but I also know fuck all about the Broncos. I've learnt over the last few weeks.
Well, they've learned to love it this year at least. They hated it at the start of the year. Now they love it.
Sure, maybe in the last 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like, did you expect them to have that sort of defense?
I think they're built into this. I think their defense is definitely probably the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 weeks. I'd say their defense has improved.
Okay, there's improved. Then there's keep the Panthers scoreless though in a half. I don't know. I didn't see it coming anyway, especially from what we saw against the Raiders a few weeks before that. But I think that it just leans into your strengths. It leans into, hey, let's move the ball. Let's take them on from sideline to sideline.
Yep.
And if I'm Reece Walsh, I'd be so excited by that game plan.
Oh, 100%. Like it's it's going to be most likely a dry track. That's another thing as well. Like Broncos have been there as well. Like this is their second grand final. They've got experience as well. And I tell you what, they won't be doing like last grand final. They won't be running out in the first 20 minutes and having a 50% completion rate. I mean, I hope anyway. Touch wood.
But if they do, will it hurt them?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, they did yesterday. Their completion rate yesterday was horrendous in the first 40 minutes.
It wasn't 50%.
We're on the wrong game.
With the Storm, I just can't wait for this game. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. I don't know what else to say. I cannot wait for this game. The Storm are absolutely clinical. They've done it again. And Craig Bellamy, that's a thing. Like, and look, I'm not saying the Penrith Panthers dynasty is over. I don't agree with that at all. I actually think they're going to be even better next year. But like Bellamy just keeps hanging around, baby. Like teams come and go, and you'd had the Broncos early 2000s, the Roosters, bit of Manly come in there for a little bit, Broncos back in there a little bit. Storm they're the ever present presence. He's just so good, bro. This is really like, not that he needs an extra tick, but really for me, this is like the final nail in the coffin of you had the big three, you won a bunch of prems, completely changed the roster to not just a different roster, but literally the polar opposite players. They couldn't be more different, this spine to the old spine. And then you go win a premiership like that. You win all these premierships based on defence, and then you win this premiership, yes, on defence, but on attack, really. That's their strong point. It'll be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And I think it'll probably be one of the more meaningful ones too, Craig Bellamy, that he can win one without the big three.
Yeah,
and I think for Cam Munster as well, all these rumours that he's going to Perth. Like I look at Cam Munster, he's had an incredible career. He's won 2 premierships. I sort of look at the 2017 and go, that was the big threes premiership. I look at 2020 and go, that was Cameron Smith's premiership.
Yep.
Like I don't think Munster has a comp that I look at and goes, that's his. Yeah. He was the absolute main dude in that. Whereas this team, granted, Harry Grant's got the C next to his name, but I think this would be the one that I look and go, that was Cam Munster's premiership.
Because Harry Grant's the captain, but the senior player is Munster. Yep. Like I even think Grant would defer to Munster a lot of the time. Just amazing. What a performance from the Melbourne Storm. Anything else on the Melbourne Storm, Matty?
And this is because I was on Teague Wilton anytime try score just because he was running to Hughes. I thought just as a team, they protected him in defence so well. They were up so quick all game when Sharks were on the attack. I thought they were awesome. One more thing, and he glossed over it. I thought Warbrick was bloody awesome, especially like his kick defusals. I thought Ronnie had an all right game, but that battle was good once again. Ronnie talked double week, but I thought Warbrick, he diffused anything that came to him. So
shows you how much he's developed since he arrived, because he was safe as houses back there, genuinely. And good game plan from the Sharkies going, look, we're not kicking the coats, I'll tell you that much. And Warbrick just diffused everyone. I thought the Melbourne Storm did a really good job in protecting Hughes. I think it's a mixture of protection, but I also felt the Sharkies didn't attack him anywhere near enough. I think it was 9 tackles. Man, if I'm playing the Storm with a dude with a broken arm, he's making at least 20 tackles. At least 20 tackles. Matter of fact, I think, you look at Nico made Nico made 19 tackles. Trindle made 13. And then if you go to Hughes, oh my God, yeah, awesome.
I think when it comes to Jerome Hughes, as I said, he made 9 tackles. You have a look at Nick Meaney, who's outside him. He made 20 tackles. And I think the back row on that edge,
Eli Katoa,
36 tackles. So I think they tried to get at him. I just think,
didn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
They did go right a lot though. Like
They went right heaps,
Yeah.
like heaps and heaps. Because like across the other side of things, like the back rowers on the Sharkies side, they made 45 tackles. Billy Burns, 40 tackles. Teague Wilton, 45 tackles. Holy moly.
And then you throw Britton Nicker on top of that as well.
Ito, 23 tackles. Yeah, wow. Wow. What a game. What a game.
I thought just last thing on Melbourne, just that play that Harry Grant came up with at the end. Like I personally think you had the 2 best hookers in rugby league going head to head in that game. And I'm not sure if the Sharkies are up by 6 and Blake Brayley looks up and there's no markers and it's last tackle, whether he doesn't just give to Hines to kick to a corner and he takes off like Grant does there. I'm not sure how many hookers would actually do that in that moment, just to see the jugular and just go for it.
Yeah.
And even just the way he did it, like the way that he took off and he knew exactly what he was doing, that he'd come off his right foot, he'd drag everyone in and there'd be space there. And then just sums up the Melbourne Storm system that in that moment to try and lock up a prelim final. The ball goes to, 2 of the newer guys in the first grade, Sean Bloor, Jack Howell. They both just iced the moment perfectly.
Harry Green has gotten to a point where he's so confident in his ability to nail big moments that he doesn't even second guess himself. Like we go back to the Panthers game, throwing that dummy and going under the post, like he's just hitting that perfect form right now. Just hitting that perfect form.
On current form, that they are probably the 2 best hookers in the game, but it's still Grant 1, Daylight, Blake Brayley.
Oh, yeah.
Do you reckon Blake Brayley would have run on that play?
I don't think so.
Probably not, no.
No,
I don't think so.
Say no. I don't think there's any other.
I don't think anyone would have. Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone has the almost right to be honest.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. The Melbourne Storm. I mean, what more is there to say? Just incredible performance in the grand final. And that's the service of the week brought to you by Ashley Mazda, LDC_01. If you need a car, give them a message, guys. Alrighty, here it is. The game. Broncos defeat the Panthers 16-14, ending the greatest run in rugby league history, in my opinion. 4 premierships, 5 grand finals, and the Broncos come from 14-0 down in one of the craziest atmospheres I've ever seen at a club game to snatch the victory. An incredible game of rugby league, one of the greatest Broncos performance I've personally ever seen. I was watching it yesterday, and that was the closest I've ever gone. Like, think I'm watching early 2000 Broncos with guys Lockie, Hodges, you name it, Webke, all those boys. That's the closest thing watching those boys yesterday came to that. The atmosphere when like they were just the heroes of the town. Everything was just aligning perfectly. An unbelievable performance from the Brisbane Broncos. I could not be more happy for the boys, and they've earned this through the hard way, and they absolutely deserve it.
Yeah, it was your defense for me, mate. I just didn't think you had that sort of defensive approach in your game. Like I sort of felt like throughout the season, and you said earlier in the show, the defense got better, and I was like, yeah, like it's got better throughout the season, but like the defense that we saw yesterday is what I expected a Madge side to look like, and we just hadn't seen it all season. And then they get to the biggest moment of the season, they go, okay, now we'll do it. Like it just go like for me, the Broncos go against everything I know about what finals teams and teams that compete for premierships should look like. So much so, I thought the perfect example, when Reece Walsh missed that conversion from in front.
Oh, my God, bro.
Yeah, it fucked up. I thought it was a positive. I went, okay, they're probably better off going for a try than a field goal anyway. They'll lean into playing their natural game. Once he missed that, I was sort of like, I think that helps them.
The only problem I had was like, then we did score, and it was like, we could have been 2 ahead.
For sure. But it switched your mindset to, oh, no, all chips in again. Yeah. Let's just do our thing.
Oh, man. What a game of rugby league. And look, I want to give Penrith their due as well. Like, to think after everything they've been through over the last 5 years, like, no words will ever be able to encapsulate what they've achieved. To still put on a performance like that, away from home, against a red-hot Broncos that are playing for everything, it's nothing short of incredible. Nothing short of incredible. Like, a bounce of the ball goes left or right, they're into another grand final. An incredible performance. Timmy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, well, incredible spectacle for rugby league, wasn't it? Just a special afternoon out at Suncorp there. And I mean, we sort of sat there all year and then looked at the Brisbane Broncos and went, we know they've got the firepower, they've got the strike, they've got the points in them, but how much ticker do they have? And in the space of 2 finals games, the belief that they had to come back twice and now obviously do it against the Penrith Panthers in such a big game, unbelievable. Like they've shown that they've got ticker, they've got belief, they've got defensive resilience, and that with about sort of 10 to go when they sat there and just repelled Penrith for, I don't know, 4 or so sets in a row and then to go down there and score back-to-back sets. As you said, like Roo, the 2 tries they scored late, that's Brisbane, they can do that. But just to see them repel Penrith 4 or so sets in a row, outstanding.
Man, and the fact that they have come back from 14 or more down 5 times this year is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's like, as you said, Roo, it's like goes against everything that you should know about rugby league in regards to winning premierships. Like you've got to be conservative and you've got to have the best defence and you've got to be willing to grind games out and win by 2. They do the opposite sometimes.
Do we all agree on that?
No, I'm with you, mate. They go against everything that you're supposed to do in the modern era of rugby league.
Yeah,
whereas back in the day it was a little bit different.
You just, for the amount of errors that they make in games, you get to prelim finals, you get to grand finals, and you get punished for them. I don't know. They don't seem to. They just seem to be able to overcome it.
Yeah.
It's credit to Madge and the belief that they've got up there at the Brisbane Broncos. It's incredible, but it's just so unusual to see. And I just keep thinking for the last few weeks that it'll catch them. This will be the game that catches up to them.
And you're right, Roo, but like they completed 86%, which it's like Penrith completed 85%. We knew they were going to. And like after that incredible completion rate last week, they came out, and I don't know when their first error was, but I know they were 10 from 10 at one point. And I'm just like, this is a joke. But you sit there, if Brisbane, and this is credit to the Panthers, if the Brisbane Broncos completed 86%, like they shouldn't be losing to anyone with their strike power.
And what's crazy is a lot of those errors in the first half. So I think they were like 65 or something like that. Came back out and just went sweet. So that second half was probably 90% for them.
They had to be near perfect in the second half to win this game and come back from 14-0. And it was the same in the last 20 against the Raiders. They had to be perfect, and they were.
Yeah. And what I will say was I was so impressed is their patience. Like there was about a 20-minute mark where they'd wrangled back momentum, and I was just waiting for them to start panicking. I was waiting for Reece Walsh to start chipping for himself and throwing the ball out. They just stayed calm. And the minutes were ticking over, and you're going, oh, this is not going to work for us. Momentum's going to go back to Penrith's way. Stay calm, and then just boom.
And the one moment where I thought they weren't going to stay calm is when there was about 3 minutes into the second half. They'd just come out and they were on about halfway, and on last tackle, Ricky, who had a great game, just scooted from dummy half out of fucking nowhere. And I'm going, what are you doing? What is going on? You give away a heap of field position, and you just hang in the fight. You just keep your gloves up.
Amazing.
And you were so calm after that.
Amazing. Hammy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, they were unbelievable, the Broncos. You spoke about their completion rate before, Timmy, 85%. And as you've said for a long time, Kev, if they can whip out an 85% completion rate, they're going to be a very tough team to beat just because they've got so many weapons. But their defence, their effective tackle rate, 90%. Penrith Panthers, 86%. So they out-defended the Panthers, who are, absolute machines. So they got plenty of ticker. And the good thing about the Broncos, which is great watching as a neutral, is they're never dead. They've had some remarkable comebacks. You said 5 or more when they've been at least 2 tries down. But to be able to produce that in the big games, they've been so exciting to watch. So sets us up for a pretty exciting grand final on Sunday.
I want to add to that stat. So this is Aaron Wallace on Twitter with 2 absolute rippers. So Broncos are the first team since the Bulldogs in 1998 to have 2 13-plus comebacks in a final series. But here's the big one. Broncos, before yesterday, have had 16 games in finals where they've been held less than 6 first-half points. They'd lost all 16 of them.
No way.
Wow.
And the sub-dog comeback of the week, it was Broncos being down 14-0 at halftime and then winning. The sub-dog is bringing back the iconic sub-dog after its massive success in 2022 and 24. The sub-dog is back in Australia and New Zealand. It's better though, gets better though. Subway are not just bringing back the sub-dog, but they are bringing back a full sub-dog range, introducing 2 brand new fully loaded flavoured pack builds, the barbecue bacon loaded sub-dog and the Mexican loaded sub-dog. But guys, in extremely limited time, do not miss this opportunity. Get into Subway as soon as you can. Try these new loaded sub-dogs. And I was like, in the noise of what happened, Carrigan's out, Walters is out, then it's kind of gotten forgotten. They were 14-0 down against the reigning premiers at halftime. The game is over. They're getting towed up in that second half.
And not only were you just down 14. But Penrith did exactly what Penrith wanted to do. If you have a look at your forwards at half time, Haas made 32 tackles, Pakes made 28, Ricky made 30, Smoothie made 24 in 22 minutes. Like, they did exactly what they did to you in the grand final a few years ago. They worked over the middle, thinking this will pay dividends in the back end. And once again, everything we know about rugby league says it will pay dividends. And it didn't at all.
You know what? And the key is, and this is Malcolm Maguire's brilliant game plan. Now, I don't know if he was this specific, but after the game, Ben Hunt said, listen, we knew that they're going to be hard to deal with initially, because what Panthers do is they front load a lot of their energy. And actually, the Melbourne Storm game, it happened as well, where they try to just get you out of there in the first 60 minutes, and then they just get into the monotonous grind and kick you into corners and it's over. And so I reckon so Madge said to the boys before the game, we just need to stay close enough to the Penrith Panthers because we're a second half team. So basically the game plan was just hang in there and stay as close as you can because we will run them down. And I think the difference, and look, these are different squads, but this is why fitness is one of the most important parts of rugby league. You know, a couple of years ago it was a much younger side, probably not as fit. So when that last 10 minutes happens, we're fatiguing. Whereas this time, we're not fatiguing. We're outperforming the fittest team in the competition. It's just it's a master. Like, I love that game plan from Michael Maguire, almost accepting that points will be scored so they don't panic, and then going, boys, we can run this down. We've run it down heaps of times. It's just a part of our DNA to run scores down, and they come out and do that. Like, it's just unbelievable that this is what they've managed to achieve in Michael Maguire's first year as coach. And you know, it's the moment where I thought, oh shit, like something might be happening here. So it's about 15 minutes to go. And they went up to Ivan Cleary's box, his coaching box, and he was stressing.
He was rattled.
I've never seen Ivan Cleary like that, ever. Like, in grand finals, never, ever, ever seen him like that. And I was going, he's seeing something, like, he is worried. Yeah. And then it went to Michael Maguire's, and he was just stone-faced, chill as anything. Matter of fact, so much so, when Reynolds was taking that kick, Maguire was nearly smiling.
Yeah.
Like, he was so confident that he had that in the bag. Like, I've never seen a man so confident in a group of young men that you're going against 4-time premiers, the game's on the line, you are so confident you're smiling. He's sitting there going, even if he misses, I know we'll finish this game and win it. While you've got Ivan Cleary sitting there going, oh, I'm getting worried now. I'm getting really worried.
His resume is just absurd. Like, look, we speak about it most weeks because it gets better and better, but whether they win or lose this grand final, you sign Michael Maguire to whatever level of footy, it's almost like guaranteed results year one. Not necessarily winning as such, but Broncos' first year, what he did with the Kiwis in that 30-0 final against Australia, what he did with the Blues in that first series, the Bunnies, Matty was saying pre-show, like prelim title, he's unbelievable.
He's a giant slayer. Like, if you've got a giant of a juggernaut of a team and you need a coach to come in and chop him down, that's what he is. He comes in and he goes up against all the coaches that, like Ivan Cleary, no one has ever beaten him in a big game over the last 5-6 years. Michael Maguire somehow, some way gets it done. Australia versus New Zealand, they come out, towels up 2-0. No one has won game 3 up in Suncorp. Michael Maguire comes in and does it.
The other one that's probably gone unmentioned a little bit, and I hadn't even crossed my mind till now, and I'm not saying he's largely responsible for it by any means, but he was the advisor at the Raiders last year in helping, make these big decisions, bring players through. They won a minor premiership this year. Like, he obviously had a few fingerprints around that.
For sure. And he was also defensively, had a big play on their defence as well.
Broke the drought at 12-year drought at Wigan as well.
12-year drought at Wigan. Like, his resume is truly, like, very rarely do you find a resume on so many different teams. Like, usually a guy like him is a lifelong coach at one club. And granted, things happened the way they did, but like, his resume is just incredible. What he's managed to achieve is like, look, and they've still got a game to go. But I think at this stage, even if they were to lose in the Storm, it's still an incredibly successful year for the Brisbane Broncos. But if they are to go on and win it, like, that's a premiership for the Rabbitohs. It's a premiership for the Broncos. It'll be a win up in Suncorp for the Blues, a series win. It'll be a record win for the Kiwis, and then it'll be a drought-breaking win for...
Took the Tigers to 9th, didn't he? That's basically a premiership.
Huge result.
I'll just say it quickly, and I don't want to put the boot in, but we always talk about administration. Like, we always want to blame coaches and we want to blame players. Here is a perfect example of a coach that wasn't getting the right support he deserved, and you just lost one of the best coaches in the competition because the administration didn't put the right environment around him to be the best version of himself. And that's coming from someone who was critical of Madge at the time. So I'm not sitting there saying I'm some angel. I was critical of him and I was wrong. But it just shows you that you need the whole administration to create the right environment. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
They lost both of these coaches.
Thanks, Guru.
You're like the Gold Coast Titans of coaches.
We got the best of the lot, though, Benji. You wait. 5-peat incoming. Yep.
Oh,
Clip that up.
mate, absolutely incredible performance. Like I've never seen a club game so loud, and I'm just so happy with those boys. Like this is the thing. Everyone, even people that hate the Broncos, they know that this squad has it in them. That's why people are so critical of the Broncos over the last 5 years, because everyone sat there and gone, guys, it's all there for you. The grand finals, the wins, the top 4 finishes, it's all there for you. You just got to take it. And finally, they've gone, okay, we're going to start pulling our finger out and actually take it. And they're reaching their potential. Whereas the reason why they aren't as critical of other teams is like they don't have the roster to do it. They're finally fulfilling a potential, and this is the rewards you reap. It's just, what an amazing... Like, they weren't even supposed to make the top 4. Now you can argue that if they are to win the premiership, it might be one of the hardest roads to win a premiership. So you go minor premiers in Raiders, then you go the Penrith Panthers in like the dynasty Penrith Panthers, and then the premiership favourites in the Melbourne Storm. And matter of fact, I'd even argue that those back-to-back games, Raiders and Panthers, you could argue that's the best back-to-back finals games we've ever seen, like from a single team. Like, that's how good these games are. I actually like the Penrith game more than the Raiders game, not because it was more entertaining. The Raiders game was like so insane, but the fact they're 14-0 down against the Penrith Panthers and the quality of the game as well. Like,
you played substantially better in this than the Raiders.
Yeah, but
because you had to go to this level to beat Penrith.
But like the Raiders one, we'll never see anything like that again. Where we'll see stuff like that again against the Panthers. Amazing stuff. Like Adam Reynolds. I mean, he misses a grand final kick from the other side of the field, and Grant, it's on the sideline. He gets a lot of crap for that. It's like on the sideline, bro. It's a tough kick.
And look, he came in that game with a big groin injury. Like he was injured that game.
And so while she steps up, shanks an absolute sitter. Reynolds goes, they score. Reynolds goes, takes the kicking tee off him and says, I'll take care of it. Goes to the other side and absolutely nails a sideline conversion to win the game. Redemption arc is crazy.
The other thing was, like, Reece Walsh almost missed the first one too.
Bro.
He hit that dreadfully too.
You know what's funny? This is embarrassing. The one he missed, I closed my eyes because I was like, I can't watch this shit. And he fucking missed. I opened my eyes and I thought, and he's running back calm. And I was like, oh, he must have got it. Why isn't the 2 points coming up? I was like, you fucking serious? I had to rewind it. I was like, fucking serious, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Doesn't that just point to, once again, he's running back and you can't tell whether he's fucked up or
like,
not?
if I missed that, I would be like, fuck, shit, fuck. He's just like, oh, damn.
Goldfish.
Gonna have to set one up now.
Damn. Yeah, I'll set one up. Amazing stuff. Just amazing stuff. We'll speak a bit about the Panthers and then we'll get to back to the Broncos. Funnily enough, and I think we all kind of agree with it. We were wrong in the sense that the Penrith Panthers juniors coming through couldn't develop enough to get into a finals kind of race. But I think we've been proven right about the fact that the juniors in the side just probably weren't ready for that next step. You know what I mean? Like early in the year, I said they can't win the premiership because their juniors don't have enough time to develop. And when I meant can't win a premiership, I mean make a push into a prelim or whatever. But so we were wrong in that sense, or at least I was wrong in that sense. But I think we were proven right in the sense that, you know, a lot of their tries when the game was on the line were around Blaze Talangi, were around that edge kind of thing. I think he ended up missing like 7 tackles, had a couple of errors as well. And so the scary thing is for the Penrith Panthers, if this is what they're doing in the first year, what are they going to do next year? So when people say, "Oh, the dynasty's over," what do we? This is what the Penrith Panthers have done to us. A dynasty used to be if you win a comp every 3 years or so. They've brainwashed us into thinking a dynasty is only when you win back-to-back premierships. The dynasty is still alive. They will be even better next year. This is what they did coming last midway through the year. What are they going to do next year when they're sitting in the top 4 and they have that week off? I thought it was an amazing performance, and unfortunately, they just got up against a side that was as fit but had just crazy talent and also had a chip on their shoulder, a 2023 grand final chip on their shoulder. And whoever writes the scripts, you know, For the Broncos to go down in the greatest ever, grand final against the Penrith Panthers by 16 points, they claw it back. Then the Broncos to return serve and knock them out of their dynasty run, or at least their premierships in a row. Like, no one writes it better than that. That's rugby league.
It's undefeated.
Like,
it's just, yeah. And then for Adam Reynolds to be kicking the goal, it's just insane.
Just insane, bro.
Like, you sit there and I can't be that critical of Penrith, because you can sit there and say, all right, this is year that it all ended, the streak ended, but they were up 14-6 with 10 to go, attacking the line. They'd completed at 85%. They were higher at that point. They were about 90% for a while there. And you go, it's all gone to plan. They said they were just killing them, turning it over in the right spots. And it took, even the Broncos try off a kick, the try off the deflection, and then the one on the buzzer, that was just desperation football from one of the most lethal weapons in attack that I've ever seen in my life. I think most of us would agree, in Reece Walsh, to bring this down. I don't think Penrith did much wrong to be kicked out.
Well, I mean, you go back to that 2023 grand final, it was 2 points. Yeah. So this Broncos squad has the ability to be this good. They're just not consistently this good. So it's a bounce of the ball goes either way in both games, and either team could win.
Yeah.
I do find interesting, and it's so Broncos, had less possession of the ball, still won the game. Like that, very rare that happens. So they had, at least 3 or 4 minutes less, and they still won the game. Some other interesting stats though. So they had less ball, way less runs, but they ran for just under the amount of metres that Penrith did, but their post-contact metres, they actually ran for more than the Penrith Panthers, which is super interesting when you consider going against Melbourne Storm. One area where they might lack a bit is that contact through the middle. Now, granted, their wrestle makes up for it because they slowly play the ball down. But yeah, let's talk about the Brizzy Broncos, and then we'll get into the Penrith Panthers. But I mean, Reece Walsh, when the game is on the line to make that play, like, who else is making that play? Who else has the balls to throw a bizarre offload / I don't know what it was, basketball pass over the top when the game was on the line, and then for Mariner to finish that, to go through Toto and I think Edwards, like, obviously Walsh should get all the credit, but Mariner's not getting enough credit. That was a tough finish. And for Walsh to just step up in the big moment and do that, I mean, this guy, we're talking about a 23-year-old with the absolute world at his feet. What a moment.
Yeah, coming up with that play, and I mean, but when he did it, I got to tell you, like, I wasn't surprised by the time we got there. It was just warming up for something from him. It's an interesting look at it from this week. So, like, do we all agree this Reece Walsh, this 10-week period, has been one of the best 10-week periods we've ever seen?
Mate, it's right up there. All
right. So when you talk about who else we'd probably put it up there with, obviously 09 Jared Hayne comes to mind. What stopped him? Melbourne, grand final day. Ben Barber, 2012, unbelievable run. Melbourne, grand final day. Tom Turbo, 2021, Manly are flying. He's killing it. Week 1 of finals. Melbourne beat them 40-12 or something like that. I think Turbo ran for 150 metres. I think he had more errors than tackle breaks in that game. You talk about giant killers. The Melbourne Storm, they've got a history of doing this against these players that are the hottest hands in rugby league at the time. I probably felt the same way about Hayne, Barber, Turbo at the time, but I just don't know how the fuck you stop this kid.
Yeah. And I think his last game they played, I think he was quite good. I'm just trying to get up this is the difference with this Broncos side compared to a lot of other Broncos side playing Melbourne in finals. We very rarely go into a finals game where we beat Melbourne Storm the last time we played, and not just beat them handedly as well. So the last time they played,
it was a toilet game.
He had 2 tries, a try assist. He killed it, absolutely killed it. 5 tackle breaks, line break assist, 11 tackles, 0 misses. So, like, he's done it before, and people go, "Oh, they didn't have Hughes," but, like, come on, bro, let's be real.
And I think the other thing, when I look back at those players in the past, like, Barber,
they did have Hughes. Whoops.
That's when Hughes got injured.
That's when he busted his arm, yeah.
When you look back at those guys in the past of, Hayne, Turbo, Barber, those sort of guys, for me, I felt like they were still in that period of having too much respect for Melbourne. And I don't mean this in an arrogant way.
No.
I don't think Reece has any respect for them whatsoever. I don't think he has any respect for anyone. I think he just and I love that. He just backs himself in 100%. And, he had a quote at the back end of last week where they asked him about Nathan Cleary and the Panthers and, how are you going to deal with them? And his first reaction was, how are they going to deal with us?
Yeah, and he got heaps of shit for it. He was right. He was right.
To be honest with you, I was annoyed that after that he giggled and then gave Nath a compliment. I was like, no, fuck that.
Stay
Settle
with it.
down. You're the guy. You've earned the opportunity to be that guy. You've played your way into that role.
Well, there's a lot of truth in humour. A lot of truth in humour. He would have been feeling that deep down. And again, to say that, the arrogance, the gall, the temerity, to say
That's
that.
what I was about to say.
To say that about Nathan Cleary, like, bro, you haven't even done like a tenth of what he's done in his career yet, and you still said that. That's greatness. Like, yeah, okay, is he going to have the same resume as Nathan Cleary? Maybe not, but that's why he had that moment, because he believes in himself. And I agree with you, mate. I don't think it's like a respect thing with Walshy. I think it's just like, I don't think he cares about that stuff. Yeah. Like, it's just not, in his idea, he's not thinking about, oh, I better respect this. He's just like, I'm out here to play footy. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Which is a scary thing to be against the Melbourne Storm, because they often do beat you before you get on the field. Let's talk about the Hunt-Reynolds redemption arc. Ben Hunt, 10 years ago, essentially it's to the year. It'll be to
Not
the
essentially,
day.
it is.
Yeah.
Literally, a decade ago, in a grand final, one of the greatest, if not the greatest grand final of all time, he now guides his team back into a grand final. We always knew this is where Benny Hunt's heart lay. We always knew he was a Bronco. You know, they should have kept him all that time. I will say as well, the Ben Hunt and the Reynolds careers since going to the Broncos, Jesus, is elevated them way further up than what they would have been if they had stayed. Like, for example, a lot of people at South would have seen Reynolds as like second or third in the pecking order in regards to like importance to the team. Fair? When he was playing? Yeah. Since leaving, I think you'd argue he was the most important. Probably. Benny Hunt, at the Dragons, like, he plays really well, but like, they don't make finals. Well, clearly he can make finals. He just needs to be in a team that, is built up around him. Both of those careers are looked on in such different lights. Like, this will be Reynolds' fifth grand final? Fourth grand final.
Jeez.
Like, fourth grand final. That's as good as a lot of the best ever sevens. And all because he took a punt and went up to Brisbane. The Reynolds sideline kick was our KO can't miss moment. There's so much content on KO Sports to get you in the mood for the grand final. Classic games, great interviews, featured documentaries. There is just so much good stuff on KO at the moment. I think as well there's a great Katoni Staggs mini documentary to check out. And heading into this cricket season too, there is just so much to download KO today. And Benny Hunt, this will be his second grand final. Like, just amazing stories about resilience, about backing yourself. Incredible.
Yeah, two guys. Not so much Adam Reynolds, but I guess to some extent, but I think Ben Hunt's just been treated so unfairly over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And the shit that's been spoken off the back of that grand final, I understand he made the mistake, but my God, I don't think that Brisbane team is a top four side that year if Ben Hunt's.
Oh, mate, he's amazing. And
it was like,
immense.
Yeah, when he was at the Dragons, everything came off him.
Yep.
He had to be like coming to all the big plays and getting around the park. He's also shown that he can do it as, the second or even third main man in attack. Like, it's not everything is around him. He can be that foil. He can be the main man. And, every part of me is like, I cannot possibly go for the Brisbane Broncos in a grand final, but there are so many great storylines. Like, I'd love to see Hunt win a comp, Reynolds get another one. Payne Haas more than anything deserves a premiership. Like, there are so Madge as well. There are so many good storylines to come out of a Broncos title.
Shit. Far out.
But even like Shibasaki as well. Unbelievable.
Shave the goatee. I was worried there.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going, you must know something I don't. How dare you shave that goatee? Holy moly.
Yeah, what I was doing there, I thought this could be, one of those moments. Yeah, exactly. Backfire a little bit.
But he knew. He knew he needed more aerodynamics for that game.
Yep. It's a game of inches, apparently. So,
I was going to say, just thinking back to Dozer when he was a young pup coming through, Benny Hunt. Yeah, so he was in his first year when I was at the Broncos. I'd been there for 2 or 3 years. Man, to see how far he's come is just like fucking so good. So good. Like
the social media posts were mad last night too, of like Alex Glenn and Dural sort of posting.
Yep. Jordan Cahu, all the boys. Because like Dozer is really the last one left of the old school Broncos. So he came in just as that early 2000, mid 2000 team kind of left. So he's still got a bit of that DNA in him. And that's why, on the field, you can see him blowing up at everyone because that's just what he's taught to do coming through the Broncos. So just like, I just can't express how incredible that this whole moment is. And, they're heading into another grand final. I will say too, great omen. So my first son, born in a grand final year for the Broncos. Second son, born in a grand final year for the Broncos. Let's go.
How many kids are you going to have?
Yeah, I'll just keep popping them out so we make grand finals,
Did you
baby.
see the front page of the paper today?
What's that?
It was something about rain. It was a pun on Adam Reynolds.
Oh, with
Rain.
R-E-Y.
I can't remember what it was. When it rains, it pours or something like that.
Oh, and it had R-E-Y-N?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I need to get that. Is it today?
Yeah, it's today.
I need to get a picture of that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's an omen if I ever seen one. Holy shit. Great omen.
It'd be interesting what we just said there about how like Dozer's still got that DNA of the old Broncos. Like, I'm very keen to see what the DNA of the Broncos is in 10 years' time because like I think Walsh has changed it completely.
Yeah.
But there's only one Reece Walsh.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
He's a unicorn. He's a one-on-one
You
footballer.
got to remember, like, Carmichael was Larry as when he came in. You know, like, obviously he's not on Walsh's level.
Yeah.
But you remember, back then, that was as bad as Walshy. He had the big mohawk and he was carrying on. Like, again, society has moved even more progressive where, you know, blokes are painting their nails or whatever. But, you know, they have learnt to kind of fit one in the side, you know, that there's something that's a bit different. But I just think that what we saw on the weekend, that's what happens when hard work meets talent. Like that is, you can have these crazy wins with all the talent in the world, but when you need hard work and talent to come together to beat a dynasty, like that's what happens. It just, honestly, I cannot believe how good that game was. I cannot believe it.
If Reece wins the Clive, can we get you to paint your nails for next week's show?
Yeah.
Nice. Go Broncos then.
Go Broncos. Mate, I'll paint my nails if they win.
All right, sweet.
Beautiful.
Clip that
I don't give a
up.
shit.
Hot pink.
I don't give a fuck.
Yes, hot pink.
I'll do whatever colour you want. I
Sweet.
don't care. We're winning Prems. Fuck.
Lime green.
No, not like that's disgusting. I don't want losers' colours on me. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's talk about some of the performances. Payne Haas. Payne Haas is the greatest individual front rower of all time, and I don't want to hear anything from anyone ever about it. Period.
How many prems you got?
Yeah, John Scandella says hello, mate.
Hey, mate, there's no one doing what he's doing. He played 80 minutes yesterday. He played 80 minutes yesterday. He made 43 tackles. Didn't miss any. This is Payne Haas's stats. Tell me a single other player that could do this in a prelim final against the fittest side that's ever existed. 46 tackles, 0 missed, 78 post contact, 186 metres.
So that's 186 metres at the 80-minute mark. After 30 minutes, he had 28. So in that 50 minutes, when his ass would have been hanging out the back, he'd made 32 tackles in the first 30 minutes. He ran for 150 metres against the Penrith Panthers.
And essentially half of it is post contact.
And without Pat Carrigan, without his partner.
Main man that usually punch hole together. Like, it's just... And the fact that... And look, he wasn't the only one, so I'm not just... The fact that he was the one putting kick pressure on Nathan Cleary like that, that is folklore stuff. That is and look, the front rows went with him. Like the boys are on. Like everyone went with that. That was honestly one of the proudest moments I've ever witnessed. The fact that there was the whole line was up like that. They were all in sync, and basically it was really only the wingers and then maybe one front rower back a bit further. Like, it giving me tingles thinking about it. Like, that is folklore stuff. Payne Haas leading the charge after 80 minutes in the middle there. Bro.
What about when he got to the ball and the in-goals to ground it? To
Oh,
just
my God, bro.
like,
Even Cleary spoke about that in the press. He's like, bro, he got to the in-goal to ground the ball. Like, what's he doing there?
It's like you're watching it play out, and I don't know who you boys were watching it with, but we were sitting there in the room I was in. Do they give Payne a spell? Do they give Payne a spell when they were chasing points? And we all sort of just collectively went, they can't, they won't, and it won't matter.
Yeah.
Like, chasing points in a do-or-die game, he was never coming off the field.
Mate, and that's why he is our hungriest player. Like, you know, Menulog is giving you a chance to win a trip to Vegas, guys. Menulog giving you a chance to win a $15,000 trip season open next year. You place an order, you unlock a game that is played last week. Matty will put footage up here. You play the game, and then you just go into the draw to win a prize. So get on Menulog, place an order, and play the game, and you go into the draw. And they're also giving away hundreds of vouchers. But yeah, Payne Haas is our hungriest player. Look, there were some incredible performances on the weekend, but I just think with the Payne Haas one, like, look, maybe there has been another front rower that's done something like that. Like, you know, maybe Andrew Fafita at his peak or whatever. But he does this all the time, but then also to do this when it mattered. Like, there are very, very, very few NRL players in the history of the game that could do that, and he did it on the biggest stage, essentially, second biggest stage.
I'll tell you, if we get to the end of this grand final on Sunday and they're deciding Clive Church and medalist and it's close, I think they have to take this game into consideration for it with Payne Haas.
Seriously.
But I've done it in the past with like Billy Slater and, you know, ones that he's won. I don't think it can be ignored.
because he's just been so instrumental.
The prelim final going into consideration for the Clive Churchill.
Yeah, I think as a whole, what you've done, they've done it before. Slater
They do it.
They came out and said there was not an absolute standout, so we took into consideration the entire final series.
Like I don't reckon that they selected the Clive Churchill purely on performance all the time.
And I'm not
Sometimes
saying
they
I
might-
agree with it.
Yeah,
but they have done it
is what it
before.
is.
Yeah.
Well, they just as a whole, they kind of do it with narrative and storyline.
for sure.
and all that
Oh,
sort
they
of-
love the narrative storyline for sure. Yeah.
And this is one of those situations where if they came out and said we took it into consideration, I'd be like, yeah, fucking oath, you should have.
I feel like they have gotten better in recent years. I feel like, sort of 5+ years ago, it was nearly all storyline and the big name and all that. There's been a few in recent years, like a Liam Martin, where it's not always the biggest name or whatever. It's like the best on grand final day, which is good.
Yeah. I was going to say, if Broncos win, like he'll be one of their best players anyway. There's no way they're winning and he's having a quiet one.
Yeah.
He's never played a bad game of footy in his life. He's not going to start this weekend. Seriously.
It's a good point.
Comes out as an absolute Barry. He's going, what the fuck?
It's not possible.
Still gets the Clive. Listen, you played really well last week.
Prelim was outstanding.
Some other guys, look, I mean, to be honest, everyone. Like, I want to give Jordan Ricky a massive rap because he's always been flirting with this, like, good back rower, solid back rower that doesn't really step up against the top tier teams. Mate, in the whole final series, he's just gotten better and better. And this is a game where, mate, he stepped up all right. This is one of his best games I've seen in a long time with Ricky. And hopefully this just fills him with confidence because he can be one of the best back rowers. I thought he was outstanding. I thought some of his kick chases were absolutely phenomenal, landing straight on top. Like, he would have been told by Michael Maguire, here's your normal jobs, but here's your main job. If Toto catches the ball, he is not allowed to move a metre. And so as soon as he was catching the ball, Ricky was landing on him every single time. Every single time. I just think he deserves massive credit. He's just gotten better and better. And, Madge is, like, he's repaying the faith. Madge has stuck with him all year long. I just thought he's outstanding, Jordan Ricky.
Yeah, it sort of personifies how I felt about the game in that I thought going into this one, Ricky, with that matchup against Blaise Solani, that's where he would leave his impact. But it was just all the little tough things.
Yeah.
He did incredibly well, which is just what the Broncos did.
Yeah, and we got the superstars. Like, if you just do your job, the boys will take care of the rest. In regards to some other performances, look, I know Willison came on, he had an error, which I was stinging. But outside of that, mate, Willison looked red hot.
He had the error, then he gave away the penalty at the end of that set. And
Yep.
I sort of thought, okay, this might rattle a guy. Like, I think I remember with Willison, like, going into that game, a lot of talk about how much impact he's going to have, how good he's going to be. He played one game of footy in 6 weeks. And it just wasn't fucking spoken about.
And he's like 22 or 23. He's not
young,
old.
and he's, like, with all due respect to him, like, we've had raps on him for years.
Yep.
Been a lot of false starts with him.
Yep.
And then he comes out, error, penalty. I just thought, geez, this is a lot on a young kid's shoulders. But then he responded so well throughout the rest of the game.
Well, I was feeling like we have too many. I think then Mariner made an error, and I was like, we have too many young guys that don't have the right mentality yet. Like, they might have it in a year or two, and that's going to be Madge's biggest challenge. But then they just like flipped a switch, and they were all good. Because like Willison, he came out, played for 41 minutes, 18 runs, 151 post contact, 151 meters, 55 post contact, 25 tackles and offload. Like, that's a great knock from a 23-year-old bench player. I mean, even Brendan Piacora, I think that Madge has timed his run perfectly. Honestly, he was in and out of the side and, injuries or whatever, but when it got down to the business end, I think Michael Maguire was always aware the only way we're in a premiership is if Piacora is playing. It's the only way. Like, I just think they've got no depth outside of him, and they've done a good job. Katoni Staggs, what a growth year for Staggs. Like, just a full-on leader now. And you can almost guarantee he's going to put in a good performance each week now, which is just amazing.
Is Herbie and Critter locked in for Centre of the Years?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you putting a line through Staggs? Because he's had such a good year.
Yeah, you got to remember though with the Broncos season, there was a period where like it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
I mean, the period where it wasn't great, like Herbie has missed, what did he miss, 8 games or something, Herbie Farmer?
No, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was
No,
only
like 4
about
weeks or
4 or
something.
5.
Okay.
Herbie and Critter for me, but I would have Staggs and Kohler, and even Ito, like pretty close there.
Did Kohler get suspended? He didn't get nominated, I noticed too. There's another one that didn't get a feature, I don't think.
We'll talk about that later. Fuck me. My God, please.
I'll find out.
Yeah. Shibasaki, I mean, Shibasaki and Ben Tolte. Now, Tolte may not play next week because Carrigan will come back in, depending what happens. But like Shibasaki was doing nothing at the start of this year. Like he was just, same with Tulsi. He now finds himself an Origin Series winner and about to go into a grand final. And it shows you just how much that a lot about what you achieve is not what you're capable of. It's are you willing to put the work in? Because his talent didn't change in the last 12 months. He's been the same talented guy since he was an 18-year-old. The only thing that's changed is his mentality. That's the only thing that's changed. And also the environment too. The environment and the mentality. And he's about to go into a grand final. It's
story,
insane, bro.
That's a ridiculous story.
After
that Storm
winning,
stuff.
coming in for Game 3 Origin Series and winning a Game 3 Origin Series.
Crazy.
Far out. Anyway, yeah, just amazing stuff. Okay, onto the Panthers. You know, so gutsy. And I do think they do have a tendency to front load a lot of their energy. And so what I was surprised at, though, is they wrangled back momentum once in the second half, but then the second time, like, even To'o couldn't get out of his own end. And when I saw To'o get tackled, like, pretty easily, I said, they're cooked. Like, they are physically cooked. I've never seen... Usually, it's the Panthers doing what the Broncos were doing to the Panthers. And look, it's understandable. You know, they had an extra... They had to fight all the way to get into the top 8. Then they had an extra game. And what's crazy is it's way harder to win 4 premierships, but anyone outside the top 4 still hasn't won a premiership. It shows you how insane that extra game is. Like, think about that. It's right now, you're statistically more likely to win 4 in a row than win outside the top 4. Unless has it happened?
No.
No. And not to mention, like, with all due respect to those other sides, I don't think the Panthers in their last 2 games got pushed massively.
No. It was honestly easy run, seriously.
Yes. It couldn't have got much easier, realistically.
Like, they had the easiest run to the finals. Like, 2 teams, they played 2 teams that were not top 8 sides. Like that, if you had taken their back end of the year form, the Dogs, they'd finish about 12th, 13th, and the Warriors would be similar.
Both injury depleted.
Yeah.
Too.
The Doggies did it in 95.
95.
But that was a different final system as well.
And it was before NRL.
NRL.
Yeah, different. Hasn't happened in NRL era.
Sorry, I know this is kind of veering, but this is hectic. Stefano, there are going to be a lot of people I want to run at, a lot of people I don't like on that team. I don't want to name names. There are a lot of people I think they're a bit stuck up.
Yes, Stefano, lighting the fuse early.
Right,
Good.
It's good stuff.
Have you interviewed him?
Nah, which is crazy because he's supposed to be such a quiet young lad. They always talk about how
Apparently
quiet.
he's a bit of a road. They reckon he...
Okay.
Yeah, like you can get some
That's
media
all right.
bites out of him
Okay.
and whatnot,
Good.
I've heard. Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, I guess we'll... Big painters. What was that, sir? You'll see me in the parking lot.
Those 2 going toe to toe in the GF. How good.
You happy for him, Hammy?
Sure.
What about Jock Madden? He's a part of a grand
Ryan
final squad.
Pappenhausen. The list goes on.
Oh,
Sean Bloor.
Yep. Yep. You're welcome.
Michael Maguire, Ivan Cleary.
We already did him, mate, before.
Just quickly with the Broncos, Karapani and Dean Mariner. Like, Karapani had a couple errors, but the amount of kick returns those bloke did, just one after the other, like, just amazing stuff. Okay, Panthers. I just think that they got to a certain point where their bodies essentially could not go anymore. Like, they just were so out in their feet. Even when they were getting out of their own end, they didn't have the energy to spread it or anything. Like, they were just cooked. And I just think that's a culmination of everything.
I think as well, there were certain moments there where I thought they were mentally exhausted too. Like, even the Mitch Kenny challenge that he went for, that was just after...
Bro.
It was just after they showed Ivan, and I would have loved to have seen him after that, because that for me was that was just a flat stick Hail Mary. Like,
I couldn't believe that.
I feel like you could tell on Mitch Kenny's face that he was going, "What the fuck are we challenging?"
Yeah. As soon as he did it, he was blowing up that he dropped it. Even this shows you how mentally cooked they were. The fact that Nathan Cleary wasn't ready for that 40-metre drop goal means that he was so mentally fucked that he didn't even think that it was the last tackle of the game.
Well, I think to their credit, Brisbane put them in that position by that brick wall defence with 10 minutes to go and 15 minutes to go for about that 5-minute passage, because the only way I want to be probably a little bit critical of the Panthers is that 5-minute period where they were peppering the line, and They just played very conservatively. They didn't throw much at the Broncos. They were... But at the same time, that's kind of what Penrith do, right? Like, they're happy to be conservative and back themselves to defend a lead and not make errors and turn the ball over 5 metres out from the Broncos line and defend it. But they did have a few opportunities there and just played very safe brand of footy where a try was game over. Anyway, they didn't. But again, that's a credit to the Brisbane Broncos for holding him out and forcing him into that. And then they had the 10-minute period where they went bang, bang.
And look, I hate to be that guy, and I understand it's purely salary cap reasons, but you know, they lost these like big moment players that if they were still there, they probably do make that play. If Critter's there, Luai there.
They look like they didn't have an answer in that 5-minute period where it's like, where do we go?
Whereas usually, like your grand final a couple of years ago, it was Critter's grubber into the in goal that created everything. Obviously, Luai has had his big moments. But yeah, look, I understand they can't keep him. I get all that. Look, I feel sorry for Blaze because he's had such a great year. I hope he doesn't hang on to this for too long. Like, some of the players that have played in Origin, they're 150-game veterans, have had performances like that. And I'm sure the Penrith Panthers will be able to handle it as, you know, better than anyone. But he's developed so much that I would hate for this to, like, hurt his confidence or whatever, because he's been so good this year. So good.
Yeah, and despite, you know, defensively what happened on the weekend, he has got so much better.
Mate,
like, there's no question about it whatsoever. He's got a long way to go, without a doubt, but he has improved so much. And I still sort of felt like at the back end of last year when he was at Parramatta, even when he arrived at Penrith, I almost felt like there was still, to some extent, a little bit of fear in defence with Blaze. I feel like that is completely gone now. He might miss tackles, but he's not fucking hiding away from anything.
No, he's confident in his body to handle the contact.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas you could tell before he was like, I don't know if I'm going to get hurt my shoulder and not going too hard.
He's had moments particularly the back end of the season where he's full blown jammed blokes and like had really good contact. And you got to remember as well, like he's played. Is it the majority of his footy at fullback?
Yes.
So he's now defending in the front line as a young bloke. It's tough going. So look, it's going to take time to get defensively up to standard, but it'll happen. He's young.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like it's hard to be too critical of them because it's not like they played poorly.
They didn't play bad footy at all.
Like, honestly, I'll be fair dinkum. The first half, I was like, there's no way we're beating these guys. Like, they had 60% of the possession. They had us, we couldn't get into their 40 metres. Like, literally could not get into their 40 metres unless we got a penalty or something. Like, so I'm sitting there going, look, I just don't think our team has the fitness to go with these guys. But I think it's probably one of the very rare times where they found a team that somehow, some way had the fitness to hang in there long enough to, but then also had the greatness. Because that's the thing, you've got to be as fit as the Panthers, but then you also have to sprinkle in guys that can do great things to take advantage of it. I just think that's, you know, mixed in with everything else and salary cap and years on years on years of success. It's almost like the perfect storm, really, like for this to kind of happen. Just crazy.
And once again, it goes against everything we fucking know about finals footy and what teams in September and October should be doing.
Mental.
But they look comfortable doing it.
It's just mental. At one point, the play the ball speeds were 3.06 seconds. Like, that is so fast. That's faster than Origin. Whereas the Broncos were 3.35 seconds, which is pretty normal. I will say, some of Cleary's defence was unbelievable. The try saver he had on Haas was like, bro, insane.
Did an unreal job on, like, there are a lot of times Walsh had that 3-on-3 where he just skins him almost every time and Cleary come up with the tackle every single time.
Yep. Ezra with the Broncos. What's exciting is he's got a match under his belt now, because you could tell he looked tentative, in my opinion anyway. Carrigan and Ezra come back in his side. Geez, that's a boost, isn't it? Geez, that's a boost.
Huge boost.
That was the other thing in that game too, like just eyeballing it. You did miss Carrigan.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
But it still didn't cost you.
Found a way.
Just found a way.
Is there anything in, like, I know they've played a fair bit of footy together and had plenty of success, but, you know, the Ezra Mam and whether he starts, whether he doesn't, I assume he'll just probably come up off the bench as a 14 again, but, like, Reece Walsh, his last month in particular of the regular season was unbelievable, was after Ezra Mam was injured and didn't play. First week of finals, unbelievable. I just thought yesterday they looked a little bit, I don't think they got the best out of Reece Walsh from when Ezra Mam came on the field. Is there something in that? Is Reynolds and Hunt a better combination to get the best out of Reece Walsh? Because he loves running the ball, he loves taking the line on Ezra Mam, and I thought Walsh was quiet in that period. Came out with the big play at the end, I know, but it was on the other side of the field. What are your thoughts? Like, does he stun? No, stunning's not the best word, but do Reynolds and Hunt get more out of Reece Walsh?
Well, the problem is there's too many cooks in the kitchen, really, because Benny
100%.
Hunt, Benny Hunt at 9, he created points for us, so he's going to want to do stuff around the ruck. Reynolds is our main man, so he needs to get the ball, and then you got Reece Walsh as well. If he has to split his runs between him and Mam, you don't want to be splitting any of Reece Walsh's runs. However, Ezra at his best is an absolute attacking juggernaut. So.
But the last 6 weeks have shown, in my opinion, that it's just got to be all in on Reece Walsh, right, and getting him in the best positions, because that's where you've won your games the last 6 weeks.
Well, I wonder whether you say to Ezra, mate, you're just working off whatever Walsh wants. Whatever he calls, just do it. And then if there is, like, you just be the best backup player in the competition, just all through the middle. I think that's probably the best way forward, is just to make it really clear for Ezra, mate, you at your best, obviously you're our main man. But right now, because you're coming back from injury, whatever they say, you just do it. Don't even bother calling plays unless it's like fucking red hot.
And it's not saying like, all right, someone's short, someone sleeps, you don't take them on.
Yeah.
Of course you take the line on, but everything you do has to be geared putting Reece Walsh in the best positions, because that's where your points are coming from.
Because you could tell there was a couple of times where he got the ball on a sweep, Ezra, and because he was so tentative, he didn't really take that next acceleration that you see. And it was like, well, if you're going to do that, you may as well give the ball to Walshy to do that, because he actually is going to go for it.
And that's the other thing. When you lean into Walsh and essentially play a lot of your attack around him, that's where 70th minute of the game, where Mam's played out the back to Walsh for 70 minutes, where there's a fatigued mark who doesn't get there, bang, off his left, and he goes in under the post because they won't expect it.
Okay, grand final, boys. You know, I think it's a coin toss. I think Storm will go in his favourites. I think it's a coin toss. You know, I think the positive for the Broncos is, and maybe this is my bias speaking, it's hard though. It's like I say, shut the spine down. That's still 4 plays you've got to fucking shut down. But if you shut the ruck down, it does kind of alleviate a lot of the pressure the Storm can get you. Now, it's much harder, you know, to do than actually just talk about it. But if they can win that ruck, the Broncos, they have the better forward pack to win most of the contact. It's just a matter of, can they do it for 80 minutes? Whereas like when they played the Panthers, even the Broncos at their best were still getting dominated when it comes to length of set. Whereas if you go back to the down in, when they played the Melbourne Storm down in Melbourne, they still ran for, I think, 10 more metres per set than the Storm. And then in the last game, obviously, they were much better. So there is a way to victory by dominating the ruck. I would say as well, like, there are other ways that the Broncos could potentially win. They don't, like, if you shut Walshy down, could Ezra be the man? Could Benny Hunt be the man? You know, whatever. But that spine scares the shit out of me. I'll just put it that way. Spine scares the shit out of me.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because like they're pretty contrasting styles of teams, but they're both sides that can pile on points very quickly with momentum. And where does momentum come from? That middle third of the field. And I look at that and I go, all right, Haas, Carrigan, and I think Willison, who's been outstanding this year. Yet them three, I like them more than I like Melbourne's middle three. Stefano, this war of words, like Stefano has such a big role to play. And that was before the war of words started. Because if he can have a blinder of a game and get the Storm on the front foot, you're probably not stopping Grant, Munster, Hughes. Like, you just don't. But on paper, I like your middle three. And Payne Haas, like you mentioned before, you think he's the best front row of all time. Like, if you've got that and you benefit. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a coin toss. I have no idea who's going to win.
It's just that it's the Harry Grant factor around the ruck. Like, I can almost live with the Hughes Munster. Like, you're going to come up against some of the best 7s and 6s you've ever seen in grand finals. But Harry Grant is just so much better than everyone else. Yeah. Like, he provides such a different aspect of rugby league that no 9 in the comp does. And also, no defensive system can work out. Like, with Hughes and that, usually you can have a defensive system that will like, for example, Munster, stay up, slide with him, make sure your gaps aren't that high so that even if he bounces off a few people, he lands in your... Hughes, as long as he's trailing from the inside, that right foot step with that fend, you can chop him down. Whereas Harry Grant, there's no defensive system that will be able to stop him if he gets going.
I think you could say he's the only hooker in the game who can create opportunities without any go forward.
Yeah,
I
just
don't
go.
think there's any other hooker who can do that.
He can win the ruck for you.
Yeah.
Like you can be absolutely toweling them up. They're in their 20, and he just sees a little bit of an opportunity. Boom, Gonski's whole set's opened up again.
Yeah.
And he does it so regularly as well. Got a decent kicking game as well. I like the Broncos' chances, though. I do. Like I think that forward pack with the red hot form, the physicality it's coming into, like there's a world where we do dominate that forward pack. There really is.
And you look at it, mate, like Reece Walsh, up until that final try assist, which was unbelievable, he didn't have a great game. Like, balls hit the deck, he made a few errors. You know, you sort of added the goal kicking onto it as well. If things click for Reece Walsh and passes stick, like we mentioned off air, but the amount of times that he was taken down by a bootlace in that 3-on-3 situation where he tries to skin the half, he could have gone through clean 4 times, scored, and like could have been one of the best games. Just pulled down. Yep. He's going to get these opportunities again. Like if Reece Walsh is on, you could blow him away.
And where all those half opportunities came from on the edge, that's Melbourne's weak spot.
I was about to say the edge is their weak spot.
That's the spot.
So, what do you reckon, Hammy?
Yeah, I'm probably leaning slightly with the Storm. I think the fact they were there last year, it's been, this is a little monkey that Craig Bellamy's wanted to get off his back, I think, winning a comp without the big three. The Broncos have been box office. They've been so good. I wonder, how many times can you give away a bit of a lead like that and bring it back, particularly in a grand final? I just wonder whether
2 big games in a row too.
Correct. I just wonder whether the experience of some of the key players for the Storm, I don't know if they'll let that sort of thing happen. Happy to be proven wrong. See a good game, but I reckon the Storm are probably going to win a tight one. Yep.
I will say, like, the fact that we're going into this game having beaten them the last game that we played them, and also the last time was when all those hammies went, we were going well. So, like, I do think this playing roster is pretty confident against the Melbourne Storm.
I think those 2 games are write-offs. I genuinely do. The first one where the Storm won 22-2, whatever it was, as you said, both halves, hammies went first half, put a line through it. The other one, and I mentioned it before, and I know you look at it a little different to what I do, but that was the game in round 26 or 27 I think it was.
Yeah.
And Storm weren't playing for anything. That means everything. The Broncos were playing for top 4, which is everything at Suncorp. The mindset just shifts. You add in there as well that
Hughes broke his arm.
Earlier on in the game. Harry Grant didn't play. I honestly think, mate, those 2 games late in the season, they mean nothing.
I disagree. I think because Reynolds didn't play, Ezra didn't play, and I think we had Willison didn't play, Selwyn Cobbo just got injured.
Even more to the point, like, both teams are completely different.
But, like, you can't just go, it doesn't mean anything. It means something. Like, I think it means something for sure. I mean, it varies in how much it means, but I think getting a win over a club when they have most of their full-strength players on the field, it always means something.
Well, certainly, off the back of that performance, Reece Walsh obviously took a lot of confidence out of it. He probably had one of his best games of the season in that one. Did the toilet water celebration. Since then, he's just been unstoppable. So,
mate, geez, toilet sales have gone through the roof since Walshy.
Yep, rightly so.
I think the other big thing going into this game, and I think it's where 2023, your experience that you had there is going to be so enormous. Like, could you imagine if you didn't play the grand final in 2023, you're going into your this group's going to their first grand final. It's like, okay, we played on Sunday. Like, Monday... Yeah, like I would assume Melbourne played Friday night. Saturday would have been all recovery for them. Probably Sunday as well. They're having a fan day today.
Yeah.
So's Brisbane. They played yesterday. The short turnaround is enormous. And I think right now, Brisbane, I think their ceiling is higher than the Melbourne Storm. You just don't know if you're going to consistently see it. But I've said that 6 weeks in a row. I've been wrong by a distance. But I just, my only worry is that the long turnaround for the Melbourne Storm is a huge advantage.
What I would say is Michael Maguire is ruthless enough. He will can all media engagements if he means getting the right recovery. He won't be pressured, and that's why I think they had their fan day today. So I reckon he can get the boys out of whatever he needs to get them all the way leading up to Sunday. That's a positive. He's not going to he will cop fines, whatever it takes, to make sure the boys are recovering correctly.
I mean, today would have just been recovery anyway, right? So they'll have done recovery in the morning and then it'll be the fan stuff. So they don't actually lose anything in it.
It's just that it's a mental thing of it, though. Like, it's you're dealing with, it's just that energy. But they've got to sort the 2-day thing. I don't think it's an excuse, but I just don't like the fact that it's there. I think 1 day is fair. I think that's like, whatever day you get.
Yeah.
But 2 days just seems a bit dramatic, to be honest.
Geez, the day finals footy was good, though.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, see, I'd just go Saturday night and Sunday Arvo. I know Friday night that people like that, but like just to make it a bit fairer. But yeah, hasn't the Arvo footy just delivered?
So good.
Yeah.
The two best games of the finals were the two Sunday Arvos, right?
Oh man, I'm so nervous. What's crazy is like we probably didn't take it for granted that first grand final that the Broncos went into, but like at least I was insane not to think about how much of a big deal it is that they were going up against the team in their fourth grand final and none of these players had been in a grand final before. Like we didn't even think about it. We're just like, yeah, that'll be sweet. Yeah. It's like, bro, it matters. It friggin' matters. Oh man, nervous. It's time now for the code story of the week. There'll be a new link in the description, guys. If you type code FINALS, FINALS, then Code Sports are giving you a subscription for $1 for the first 3 months. There's no better time to join. So make sure before this code goes, guys. For Tima, what do we got this week?
Well, it's all grand final, I think, this week. We finally have our two final teams standing. Dally M's during the week as well. I'm sure that will be just as contentious. But aside from all the Broncos and the Storm chat this week, I think one of the biggest talking points will be Penrith and this dynasty so-called being over. I'm not brave enough to say that it means this dynasty is over, but I do remember about 12 months ago, I did say that if Penrith didn't win the 2024 grand final, that it might be a while since they won another one. And that was because at that time they were farewelling Jerome Luai and James Fisher-Harris, which was the most recent of a long line of players that they said goodbye to. And I felt like that potentially could be the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think it's fair to say that's what happened on the weekend, but there's no doubt what they've been able to achieve in a salary cap era has been remarkable. Whether the salary cap era is what breaks their dynasty really, I think we won't know for another 12 months.
What's their salary cap looking like? Are they in the market? Are they not in the market? Are they pretty flat out just keeping the salary cap together? Are they relying on their juniors? Like what's the goal for the Panthers over the next 2 or 3 years?
It's interesting because before going in for Isaiah Papali'i and Blaze Talangi, which is their two probably biggest high-profile signings in a while, they'd relied on their production line and, really sort of finding the gaps in terms of depth in their roster. They've had guys like O'Sullivan, like Schneider, like Cogger, come in and sort of fill gaps when needed. Dane Laurie in the last couple of seasons. So having Talangi and Papali'i come in was probably changing tact a little bit. There was a bit of chatter at one point about, someone like David Fifita. But, in terms of salary cap, you've got to remember salary cap was the reason why they couldn't keep Jerome Luai. So you've got guys like, there's key guys like Cleary, who's already sort of taking a little bit of a haircut to be able to stay at Penrith on big money, Yo on big money, Mardo on big money, Dylan Edwards on big money, To'o. There was a story, I think, last year, potentially him being a little bit unhappy and, about how much money he was on maybe. So they've got a lot of money tied up in their big players. The positive for them this time around is they're not really losing anyone. Right, and this is the first time in a few seasons where they're not losing anyone. So they get finally a full pre-season with Blaze Talangi, who I think will be better for it, and the team will be better for it. And yeah, I don't think right now they're in the market for any big names, but they've been comfortable just relying on the cattle they have to get the job done, which up until this point has gotten the job done.
Do you... Because what I find really interesting is this is almost like a 5-year, I guess, rotation of roster, and they're at the 5th year, which is usually when you're into a new generation per se. And I wonder whether they not expected this, but I think that if they were to look 5 years ahead and say we have Casey McLean, Talangi at 6, all these young guys coming in, I wonder whether even Penrith are listen, if we can get this 5th premiership, that'd be awesome, but geez, we're cutting it thin, we're cutting it razor thin, because it's basically a full refresh of a roster. Usually, there are teams out there that have 2 players left of a roster from 5 years ago. Has it all gone to plan outside of the fact that they wanted to win 5 in a row?
Yeah, I think so. I think if they didn't manage to pick themselves up off the canvas after Bathurst did in round 12, I think it was when they were coming last, you're probably asking that question, but I think it has gone to plan. There's a lot of, I guess, future planning with guys like Casey McLean, with guys like Blaise Talangi. They still have. So the thing is, when people, something really special happened when at the start of Penrith's dynasty, right? You look at the guys that came in, like Cleary, like Matt Burton, like Jerome Luai, like Stephen Crichton. They're almost each one of them one in a generation type player. Like the luck you have to have for all those players to come through at the same time is absolutely remarkable. So the fact that they've been managed to maintain their success, even though as those guys have walked away from the club, is incredible. I don't know whether there's the same caliber of talent as those guys coming through at the moment, but there's still, guys like Jackson Edgar, who's a fullback, who's, going quite well, a hooker called Billy Scott, who's probably one of their best kids coming through. So they still have some of the best talent coming through. And remember, they lost guys like Isaiah Katoa. So they have the potential to be producing the next one in a generation type player. The luck of so many key players being that good coming through at the same time, that's something that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's going to be interesting to see, let's hope it doesn't happen, but let's say for some reason this young generation doesn't kick on, it'll be super interesting whether they stick with them next year or they go into market. What else have you got? Any other big stories this week before we let you go?
No, I think that's the big one. Like I said, I reckon Dally M will be, most people think James Tedesco is probably going to be the Dally M winner. I think the biggest talking points will be the guys who don't get any awards or didn't get nominated. But yeah, it's all pointing to grand final this week.
Who are you going for on the grand final?
Oh, look, I'm a Raiders fan, so you cried tears of joy, I cried tears of despair after week one. But I think Brisbane, so many people wrote Madge off so quickly this year, and he's in a grand final, 80 minutes away from playing a grand final. This was the guy who was past it, too tough, worked them too hard, the players didn't like working too hard, and then you look at the resilience that Brisbane showed against Canberra and then against Penrith. Maybe his coaching style does work.
Yeah, just maybe, just maybe. All right, thanks so much for joining us, Christine. We really appreciate it. And Code Sports, guys, go to the link in the show notes. Use code FINALS for $1 for the first 3 months. This deal will be gone once finals is done, so do not miss it. You do not miss it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, okay. Guys, the Dally M has... and Maddie, please pull us up when you know someone hasn't been put in because they're suspended. The Dally M's has been nominated. At fullback, the Dally M nominations are James Tedesco, Kyo Weeks, Reece Walsh. At centre, Casey McLean, Robert Toya, Herbie Farnworth, Stephen Crichton, Katoni Staggs. Please tell me Kohler got suspended.
Doesn't look like it.
So he won the club's Player of the Year and he didn't get nominated. Bro.
Who are you taking out of that list to put him in?
I'd take three people.
I'd take three of them out. I'd take Toya out, I'd take McLean out, and I'd take Staggs out.
Kohler was unbelievable.
He was their Player of the Year from centre.
Yeah.
He's also an absurdly good defensive centre as well.
Like Toya went good at an Origin, but he was solid.
It's not an Origin award.
Yeah, it's not an Origin award. Like Casey McLean came good towards the back end of the year, but
struggled early on.
Yeah,
Katoni's had some defensive issues at times.
Yeah.
I'm personally not taking Staggs out, but Kohler's in my 5, no doubt.
No doubt. So that's so strange. All right, wing: Marky Mark, Xavier Savage, Jacob Kiraz, Zach Lomax, Xavier Coates. Now, did Brian To'o die?
No.
Okay, so because you saw him yesterday, didn't you?
I saw him yesterday. He played quite well.
So, they say suspensions. He got fined twice, so I'm pretty sure he's still eligible.
How the hell isn't Brian To'o in this mix?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
That's a clanger.
Okay, if you don't want to give it to him, not even nominated, who's selecting this stuff? What games are they watching?
You're just not appreciating the Xavier Savage one.
Oh, mate.
He missed a bit of footy, but not enough.
Yeah, I was just about to say, is there an argument here, Brian To'o? Is he just...
Played 16 games.
Is he a victim of his own standards he's set? I'm not saying it's fair, but
He is,
16
yes.
games, he's scored 8 tries. He had 2 try assists, 92 tackle breaks, 13 line breaks. They're still very good. 200 average run meters, which is still exceptional. But it's what he does every other year he just scored less
Yeah,
tries
but-
this year and played less games. I'm not saying I agree with it.
If
I'm
I
just
had
trying to make sense of
if
it.
I had a random fan making the decisions, I would go, you know what, fair enough. Not the selector that should know things about rugby league. Like the selector shouldn't be like, yeah, you've been pretty good for the last few years. I'll just leave you out. They should be aware of those things.
So To'o was 8 tries in 16 games.
Correct.
So that's a better strike rate. No, it's not, it's a bit less than Xavier Savage, who was 12 tries in 21 games. But To'o averaged 200 metres per game. Savage was 111. How much averaged double the run metres per game?
What's Lomax's and Kiraz and Marky Mark? Coates as well. Like I think his stats would even Lomax was good to start the year. There's an argument the Fox was a better winger at the Eels. Like at least on par.
Yeah. Yep.
Once again, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just trying to make some sense of it to some extent.
You're right, Roo.
I think that has to be it.
He's 100% victim of his own success. Like, comparatively, his stats to previous years weren't as good, but that's 100% it.
Yeah. And look, we apologise if there is a suspension that we missed. We apologise, guys. But
yeah, it's NRL website judiciary. It's got the whole thing. I typed in To'o, and there's 2 fines there. So
okay. At 5'8", Cam Munster, Ethan Strain.
Sorry, just really quickly too on Brian To'o, like 16 games, 3 of them have been finals games too. So he played 13 NRL games.
Okay,
this year.
so it's half the season, less than half.
Yeah.
I'm still willing to put him in as a nominee. Like he's the greatest winger of all time.
But even then, it's 13 games from a potential 24 for the Panthers. But then you take out any games you missed due to Origin as well. So like it's more than half. But yeah, anyway,
it'd be like 65% or something like that. Anyway, it's not that if you didn't win it, I could kind of get around that for sure. But not even nominated is just like the bizarre.
For what it's worth, too, of those 8 tries he scored this year, 3 have come in the last 3 weeks. So he was 5 tries in the regular season. Once again, don't agree. Trying to make sense of it.
Stop using logic, Roo.
Well,
it's not really logic.
Just get on the
not my
blow up
strong point.
bandwagon.
Okay, at 5'8", Munster, Strange, and Burton. I mean, I think
No Dearden?
No Dearden. Yeah, I mean, he played more 7. I think. Yeah.
Well, you didn't get a nomination for that either.
At hooker, Harry Green got suspended. Oh, that's right. Appy Coruscant, Blake Brayley, Tom Starling. At prop, Adam Fanua-Blake, Stefano, Papali'i, Josh Papali'i, Terrell May, and Payne Haas. Now, Tarpanair, suspended.
Shoulder charge, round 1, 2 games. So I just reread how to get banned from it, I guess. You have to get suspended for 2 games. If you're suspended for 2 games, you're gone.
They got to change the rule, bro. Like, these rules were brought in when shoulder charging wasn't even an issue. It was celebrated in the game. Like, what we penalise now would be cheered beyond belief back in the time when these rules were made. Like, we need to change the Dally M eligibility to suit the modern era of the way the game is being ref. Like, missing 2 weeks for some of the most innocuous stuff you've ever seen that takes you out of a Dally M position is ridiculous.
Joke. We say it every year. It's just like...
my God. Okay, back row. Liam Martin, Angus Crichton, Leka Halasima, Hudson Young, and Katoa. Trying to think in regards to some other... Sounds about right.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that.
I think Liam Martin's a bit lucky to be in there. Club form this year.
No Preston? Yeah, he gets
Jacob
suspended.
Preston, I'd probably have Jacob Preston over Liam Martin.
Was Kickout? I thought he had a cracker season too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Angus Crichton came good towards the end of the year, but he was actually relatively quiet most of the year as well.
Kick-out's hard done by.
So, yeah, those 2 I'll probably look at. Okay, at lock.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. At lock, Aaron Clark, Isaiah Yeo, and White. Rookie of the year,
Adam
Iongi.
Dewey play checkers, does he?
Iongi, Halasima, and Robert Toya. Captain of the year, James Tedesco, Nathan Cleary, and Crichton. Coach of the year, Serraldo, Maguire, and Stewart. So couldn't even put like Madge in there, and also
Madge
Ivan
got
Spears?
suspended.
Oh, Buzz suspended him. Swearing at him.
Yeah. Yeah, Madge is a little bit stiff there, isn't
Oh
he?
no, sorry, he's there. Apologies.
No, Madge is
Oh,
there.
he's there. Sorry.
Thank
It just says Michael Maguire. I'm like, who's Michael?
Yeah, fair.
But Ivan Cleary, surely Ivan Cleary should have been there at least.
Yeah, I think this is where Coach of the Year, all the other ones I can deal with. I hate the coach of the years given out at the end of the regular season.
Because, like, he's only won one coach of the year, and it was when he didn't win the grand final.
I think he should have got one more coach of the year, but he came 7th and got knocked out of a prelim. He's not the coach of the year.
But given the degree of difficulty of being last at round 12
Yeah,
and
but he
then...
got them to last.
But the context matters. Like, the context matters where you're at. Like, that's if it didn't matter, some of these guys would never get coach of the year. For example, like you go, oh, well, Ricky Stewart, why does he get it? He was good from the start of the season. Well, he gets it because the context was everyone thought they were going to come last.
I understand that, but Panthers were terrible in the first half of the season.
But why were they terrible? Like, they were terrible because they just won 4 premierships in a row. They've been completely gutted beyond belief. So much so they had to debut a bunch of young guys that weren't ready. And then within that same year, this coach took young guys that aren't ready all the way to a prelim in like 2 points off a grand final again.
I still reckon they were last at round 12. I reckon he should have got coach of the year 2 or 3 times the last 5 years, but not this year.
Yeah, I mean, I would still give it to Ricky Stewart, but I do think he should have been nominated. I definitely do think he should have been nominated. Okay, Proven Summers medal. Okay, this is cringe. Jerome Luai and Lockie Galvin have been nominated for them hugging on the field. Walk me through that, please.
I thought it might have been they might have been nominated for their appearance in that KO commercial they did earlier in the year. I can't claim that. That was Adam S from Fox. That's
okay. But that's what they got nominated for, isn't
I mean, jeez.
Is that what
how awkward is that going to be if they've got to go out there and accept that together?
Is that what they got nominated for?
Yeah, it is. It's for that. It's for the sport. I think it's like basically a sportsmanship.
Put it on the trophy. Replace the probe and something. The Luai Galvin.
Wow.
Bro, what? We must have been short on some, fair play stuff, but that to be nominated.
Yeah. Interesting. It's an interesting one.
You see that every week with like players that left. They might anyway. All right.
Do we have descriptors of the other 2 moments?
So we've got Fogarty and Lomax. Lomax probably did something nice.
Was Lomax when he helped the young bloke on the field a few weeks ago?
Probably. What happened there?
I think he was crying or something out on the field. Lomax talked to him and helped him. Or...
That feels like kind of the spirit of this sort of award. Yeah, interesting.
All right, that's the Dalian nominees. Make sure the best internet in all the land, guys. Lontel, massive thank you as always. I'll be probably playing some Borderlands 4 this afternoon. Ghosts of Yotai. That's out this week, baby. That's out this week. Let's go.
You need to stop drinking toilet water, mate.
I need to keep drinking more. Keep drinking more. Prems, Ghosts of Yotai. Let's go.
Amelia's roasted you on socials too. By the way, you murdered your butter at home.
Listen, I get enough from her. I don't need it from you, mate. She just like randomly puts up shit, putting shit on me. Like, oh, you didn't put this away correctly. Or you didn't do this. It's like, bro, what the hell, man? I'm just trying to work. I'm getting abused. Like, what was the other one? Like, she's like, oh yeah, she put up this thing and she was like, when your husband says he'll take the toddler out so you can be with the newborn, and you're devo because your husband has to leave. But she was doing the meme where they're like, oh, and then it's going like that, like happy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries. Like, I'm just being this nice guy, waking up in the middle of the night, take care of the toddler. Unbelievable stuff. Alrighty, we'll all go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
We don't want to do the grand final.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez.
Oh, I've already won because maybe.
Talk about Tony's, right? Now, what I'm going to get you to do here, just to avoid a repeat of last week, you two are going to have a quick look at the markets now. You're going to text me your
I already know what I want. You
result.
Can trust me.
You're going to text me your Clive Churchill,
I'm a
and
pioneer.
you're going to text me a try scorer. You guys don't have to text me because you losers are out of it like me.
But
so that's
keep doing it though because I want to see who won overall for finals.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Yeah,
we definitely will.
okay.
But
Hey,
you guys-
I got a question.
Go on.
Does Denon get to have another Clive Churchill?
He
crack?
does. Yep.
So he gets 2 goes at Clive Churchill?
Yep.
Okay.
That's on him.
So this will count towards
Yeah.
the original Clive Churchill at $18.
Yeah, chickens come home to roost, sort of stuff.
Come on, bro. I just need that. That's all I need. Holy.
Unless he goes a big roughy, you never know.
No, he's a cat. He won't do that. Okay.
I texted you, Hammy.
Okay, lovely. And don't forget, you can actually same game your Clive Churchill medalist into your same game multi with Sportsbet as well. So worth bearing that in mind. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't mind this. Oh, he's done pretty well here. Pretty well.
You're not going to rattle me, mate. You're not going to rattle me.
You're already
so
rattled.
Anytime as well?
Hey, yeah, give me an anytime. while you're doing that, maybe we could just
Yeah.
submit our ones
Yep.
just to fill in the blank. So, Rube, new ball, who are you going with?
What's the start?
Oh, yeah, so the price is very important. Storm, $1.71, Broncos, $2.15. The line is 2.5 points. I can tell you the early money, we've taken 3 times as many bets since the market went up on the Broncos.
Wow.
And the Storm.
Because they have such a big fan base, they usually bring it in a little bit.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just like people like what the style they're playing. But yeah, that's kind of where it's sitting right now.
I've had a lot of Broncos fans reach out to me in the last 12 hours and tell me that because I keep tipping against the Broncos, I'm the good luck charm. So I'm sort of trying to decide what I do here.
Well, tip against them again, you fucking dog.
So Broncos 13 plus is what you
Help
say?
your mate out here.
I'll do the right thing. I'll say Golden Point.
Such a fucking
Oh my
piece
God,
of
that'd be
shit.
so.
There's no such thing as golden point, Guru.
33%
No, there
to
is.
me.
There's no such thing as golden point.
It's extra time. No.
Storm 1-12.
Nervous in grand final week. Getting up
Storm
very
on it.
edgy.
Storm 1-12. Harry Grant.
280.
Churchill and what
650.
try score as well.
Yeah.
We'll go Shibasaki.
Yep. 325. Nice.
I will go Munster Clive.
650 as well, his joint favourite.
Thank you. And give me Harry Grant try scorer.
Harry Grant try score of 460. Don't hate that. All right, I'm going to go Storm 1-12 at 280. I'm going to go for a try scorer. I think Walshy gets one, 230. And then for the Clive, I'm actually going to go with Pappy, $12 to get his second
I
Clive.
like Pat play for sure.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Looking good, little Paps.
So who finished last here? Him or you?
In the regular season?
Yeah, or
in the regular season, it was me, but in the final series, it was him.
So who finished last?
Him.
Him. Yeah, okay.
Oh, please.
All right.
I'll go. I haven't put my second shot at the Clive. Do I get 2 shots?
Yeah, you got to text it to me.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's all over.
He's rattled.
We've already done it.
This has
I'll go
been a
Reece Walsh.
seamless end.
No, you got to text me your result.
Reece Walsh.
No, remember I said you got to text me your result, your try score, and you Clive. 'Cause that's what Matty's done.
Yeah, but what? So the people aren't going to know who we selected.
Well, so that to avoid a bit of a just blocking each other.
But he's already done.
Yeah.
So he's already given his answers. He can't
Okay.
change
All right. Well, you
go
can,
first then.
You can dictate yours to me.
Oh, I've just texted him to you.
Oh, fantastic.
This is a shit
How convenient.
show.
I don't understand what's going on right now. You get it.
So rattled, but it's all right. I've got it now. All right.
so, and now we're going to read it out.
I'm going to read it out now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Kempy has put in the Broncos head-to-head. Oh, my God. Did anyone see that coming? Mariner, anytime try scorer, which you get your $2.55. And he's put in Reece Walsh, $6.50 to be his Clive Churchill medalist. Bearing in mind, he already had Payne Haas at $18. Not a bad hand to play there if the Broncos win. Matty, the challenger, the minor premier. He's locked in the Broncos 1-12. That'll get him $3.20. He's gone with Stags, anytime try scorer at $2.60. And he's gone, this could be telling, potentially, with a bit of a redemption up. Ben Hunt, $18 to win the Clive.
There's
So
a
he's
lot of yarn there.
He's taken out the Payne Haas factor.
Yep.
So there we go. We've got a hell of a grand final here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Cream rises to the top, doesn't it? Always rises to the top.
Well, we'll see. We'll find out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's Face the Music brought to you by our friends over at Sportsbet. And so we'll do the review of the grand final next Monday. Then the Monday after that will be the entire season review. That's right. We're locking in. We're going to do the entire season review. And then depending what we'll do is depending on like what's going on, we might have a week or two off, just depending on what's going on, and then get back into it as the cricket starts kicking off. Because the cricket it's about a month away. Till it
Yeah,
starts
that's
kicking off.
the main purpose of this podcast too. So we need to be fresh for that.
We need to be fresh for that. And also, I'm just trying to think like the Instant Ashes doesn't really start till 2 weeks after.
Mid-October,
Is
yeah.
it 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah,
Anyway, we'll see. Because that's, funnily enough, that's where we'll be. By the time we get 2 weeks down the road, it'll be fucking there anyway. All right. As usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.